just the 2 chances, but kind of like what the desk was talking about as well. I mean, KRX coming in with their own little compositional switch-ups. It just depends on whether or not the players can make it work. Right now, they have a lot of space, which bodes well.
A little bit of space being made actually onto that A side.
Oh, HYUNMIN
able to open the account for
on the
KRX.
raise.
It's a decent enough start.
Freeing on the chamber. Young on the Vice. Oh my god, they answered my prayers. They answered my prayers.
KRX are finding the picks that they need in all of these aim duels.
Oh my god, hashtag save HYUNMIN. Hashtag save HYUNMIN. It worked.
Have any success there? And
it worked.
Starting well with a 3K in the pistol. A lot of eyes on HYUNMIN today.
And a lot of kills as well if he's going to continue to collect those bodies that way. I mean, just right off the get-go, it's you know, a bit of prep work done in the past week coming into this, and just instantly could tell, you know, having freeing on the way towards the back end, having that extra position to cut off rotations while HYUNMIN just continues to pivot back around the site.
Yes.
It's a great way to kick things off.
My boy, my boy.
Now. You know, still curious about what this double duel is. I mean, I'm hearing so much about Siesta, the Neon, maybe the Rayleigh at some point, but right now it's Wolverine onto the Rays too. They've got 4-1 stacked up closer to
Siesta's supposed to be the boy.
But KRX have other ideas.
Yeah, there's a number of onside players just poking around here. So Freeing wants to make sure he connects with these shots. First one onto Siesta. Pretty routine, no problems there at all. C-site being worked at the moment, Mound being explored by KRX.
Oh yeah, this entire round has KRX written all over it. I mean, get a load of this guy.
Yeah, Freeing having a nice
Fearing. Okay.
Seem.
Hit.
Eventually get pushed again by Cloudy, but
get your ace.
Pretty well.
Damn.
Eventually does get overwhelmed by Ray, but not the end of the world. He's kind of done his job. Will allow the rest of KRX.
All right, we're good. Yeah, hashtag HYUNMIN is working so far.
This bucko is done with the site, and now just the whole team of KRX pretty much clearly taking down what seems to be just Ray holding into a corner. Restock standard, not too much else to expect there, unfortunately, for I guess on site to try to rotate back. But as soon as those kills were collected upon by Freeing, just gonna have to look towards the next round now. I mean, haven't really seen too much considering the fact that, you know, this is just early stages of the game, but back then when Onside played against ART in their grand final, Korean finals, split 2, it was so different. They had like a complete streak. They
we're good, we're good.
But then suddenly came back, especially
okay, Freeing.
Defensive side, which a lot of it starts.
Is Mako gonna turn up?
Right now it's a fast lane. Cloudy to peek off of it too.
HYUNMIN does manage to find that.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Really get to, I guess, get a bit of a sense of the mojo of onside here. Starting a little bit more aggressively in that round, looking for an early fight. Does go 1-for-1, but at least they're kind of forcing KRX to work for this round, which is not something you could really have said about those first 2.
Really not yet.
Right now.
Especially now
they're just playing contact.
Well, though, so
nothing too crazy.
Young is pretty much committed to this.
Nothing too crazy.
Now. The rest of the team trying to get that pivot.
Looks like a B-pop. I mean, the C site's wide open for KRX.
Revenge against his former team.
Oh my God, Hermes at least gets one. He gets one, right? Okay. No, it's an open B site.
We'll play this.
And then Young.
Yeah, oh. It's a good way to take that B site, but now at the cost of Young's life as he just gets deleted by Siesta. Maybe this is the first avenue back in for onside. Wolverine
oh my God, Siesta.
As well, both the duelists having the impact that they need to. It comes down to just Bane now. Alone, trying to hold that spike.
Bane gets one.
Open for him, but there is a smoke in his
no,
way
it's
now.
not winnable. It's not winnable.
And, number of players that he needs to get through the spam.
Unless
really connecting.
Oh,
incredible luck to get through this one. That's a good shot. Oh, and he very nearly actually
almost
did
got
make
it.
That happen. So a lot of damage done by KRX, but it is a round that will go the way of onside.
Not too bad. It does come down to the wire, though. I mean, sticking that defuse down. Ultimately, if you take a look at, I guess, the bird's eye picture of things, it's Freeing with all those kills from the previous round, building up towards the tour de force, and then now with Bane as well. That's a possible Nightfall pretty soon. Of course, getting away with his life intact as well, so that's a bit more economy than
Off to a great start for
just
KRX.
up by freeing as well, knowing that his opponents are in low armor, which is pretty darn strong. Let's have a listen in to KRX with how they want to.
Oh, refight into C? Oh no. Jesta. Chill. Let KRX get a map. Let KRX get a map.
여기 C 셋이 있는 것 같아. A 발사나 A 발사나 내가 봤을 때. B 가도 되고 그냥. A 템반 되면 A 가자. B 가자. B 벽 빼진 것 같긴 하다. 아 A 벽. B 아마 사람이 있을 것 같긴 해.
I have to start to wonder if this is where things may start to fall apart a little bit for KRX. As you're now starting to see what onside can do. Very confident round out from them. Just Yong left alive now and below half HP. He doesn't really have a snowball's chance in hell of winning this round. So onside are going to very quickly equalize this scoreline.
Alright, let's go to the next round. Come on, come on.
Possibly with the economical situation now unfolding as well, maybe they'll be the ones taking the lead away. I mean, that's the thing about KRX though, it's, you know, kind of like what Achilles was alluding to, the fact that it's just a solo raise duelist. Makes things a little bit more difficult if your head gets removed. KRX needs to like stay prepared for any.
Young is just laughing. He's just chilling. He's just vibing. They know they're gonna win the map.
It's a double duelist on the other side, but when Siesta just pops in like that, of course the whole team to support the push as well around C Mound, just makes it that much more difficult. So can kind of expect or think that KRX might start to be more cautious of some of these early positions, even with the ults that they have now. But sometimes you also just want to see things different, like operated differently. You've got HYUNMIN onto the showstopper on the next round. Perhaps some explosive entries. Maybe some fighting words as well. I'm hearing reactions from
Okay,
the
2-2. Hermes has a
Little bit of a reinvestment
outlaw,
back in here from KRX.
and HYUNMIN's about to save the round.
HYUNMIN also holding on to that showstopper.
HYUNMIN's about to carry this team,
KRX here.
at least for Lotus.
This is not one that they look at a bit
He has a
too
showstopper.
Probably just heard the utility being set down as well, the shear wall in particular. But it's also a lot of maybe reliance on freeing and to see what he can find in that lurk position. It's been tough, and we haven't really
trying to cheat the rotate. Hermes is watching this angle.
First 2 rounds. If freeing gets one, that's tour de force, and that's even better. But now,
and they're trying to bait this
to
wall.
alleviate some pressure by getting that progression smoke.
Okay, they bait the wall. Now what?
Gaming, I mean, look at how they're positioned as well. Just so ready to receive any potential hits that may come.
Yeah, KRX taking a bit of a slower approach to this round, hoping maybe freeing can work a pick over on the A side of the map. Doesn't really seem like there's a whole lot eventuating over there, and so eventually push is going to come to shove here. And
they're about to contact into high-low and the observers. Oh, HYUNMIN's about to farm.
Doesn't quite clip
HYUNMIN's about to farm.
One is enough for KRX on the entry as far as they're concerned. They'll push their way through and try to work their way in. HYUNMIN for the triple now. It seems like KRX at the moment really are living and dying by what HYUNMIN is able to conjure. And in this round, he's done enough.
Okay. What did I say?
So much so.
They had an outlaw.
Now
They had
the
potential to make impact in the round.
Confirming extra positions. Take a look where freeing is venture. Ring.
Having a little bit of a wrap around.
Oh, what a shot by Mako. Mako, go get your second. Go get your second.
Bullet to the head, and so that'll be the end of that for Siesta, as he's happy to try and hold on to that Phantom for the next round. So a little bit of life here for KRX, but like I'm saying, a lot of it really feels like it's coming off of HYUNMIN today so far.
Not wrong there. 8 kills, 2 deaths.
Siesta?
Maybe one inconsequential one by Mako.
Siesta? Siesta.
Man, I really should
Siesta.
Still early, of course, but that is just one of those rounds entirely put together by him. He's got the smoke support by Mako, gets the showstopper around towards back sight, and then continues to find 2 more up around the top of heaven. Like, of course, Onside Gaming trying to get those trades through, but you just always have to be wary of players like HYUNMIN.
So right now, KRX.
Round now as well.
I'm pretty sure they're expecting tempo. Yeah, there's going to be an A fight.
Built that tower properly, brick by
Freeing
brick.
trying to take an early timing off of.
For onside, they're going to try and set Siesta up for success.
Oh, and Freeing's just backing out. They have the read. We're going C. Hermes just spotted. He's gonna imagine two. Well, now it's a C hit. It's official.
By that nightfall, we'll just have to play for the retake here.
Yeah, a bit of a timing play. You've got Freeing with an op watching the flank as well, just in case there's a push out towards
Nobody
A.
contesting the spike.
Found yet, though,
Easy
so
plant.
this all comes down to how they hold it.
And it's just a 5-on-4 retake because
they have to hold out by stairs, which
Freeing is on mound.
tough to work around. So
These four have to absorb the contact.
Retake util getting tossed on in. Now the retake kill starting to come through as
Ooh,
well, but that's very
KRX.
swiftly brought down by Bane, who can't quite hold on for the third. Maybe there's still a world in here for.
Oh, they're just too good. They're just better. They're just better. They're just better.
KRX working their way into this half now and starting to look better and better.
And better would be the key word. I mean, ask for the team to deliver, and deliver they did. It really comes down to a bit of the post-plant utility as well. And this is what Yong does as the Vise. Maybe you have the smokes supported with Mako, some thorns out towards the front ends as well. So he's just saying, like, it's delicious that they just walk into his crosshairs bit by bit. Works out perfectly with the push coming forward as well. So doubled up the scoreline against onside now, and it forces the time out. Maybe not quite the performance that onside were expecting. I mean, they were talking a lot of smack. Very incredibly confident all throughout a lot of the content pieces. Oh my gosh, that's Farrell watching here as well. They're locked in for playoffs, or like it's a bit of an off day for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to do, right? We've all kind of been there when you're just sort of waiting to do your thing, right? Might as well come and watch.
He was previously signed with SLT, I think, way back then. Now Farrell. Just never actually got to play an official match with them, so just a bit of support. Lovely to see. You got to start finding those rounds get put together. They have the ults to make it work. Steel Garden as well for Hermes.
So KRX have been reading the round pretty good.
Still have to watch out for Freeing with his op.
I wonder how Onside Gaming switches it up, because they've been popping on KRX, and it's caught them off guard a couple, at least one of their rounds, especially that C pop.
But they're going to need to build themselves a little bit more of a platform to work off of than just these couple
Hermes
of
gets
imagine it probably won't.
info, good trade, managing the guns, but none within reach.
1 for 1 is not too shabby as far as onside are concerned.
Yeah, right. Neat little triple peak. KRX starting to wonder where else these players could be repositioning to now. Maybe the safer call would, if they're thinking, would be to go back and regroup with Freeing, but that's where that stack
And
is.
so Onside Gaming have the read. Or at least they gambled correct.
Not going to have too much
but
success.
they just have pistols.
That dark cover getting the better of him, and now HYUNMIN will look to go forward.
HYUNMIN with the easiest kill of his life.
Coming through from Marcos, making short work of the site.
Oh my god, it didn't even look like Young.
Going to be okay. Once again, another couple of kills in another round for HYUNMIN, who just seems
HYUNMIN with 10 and 3.
5-2 now, and KRX,
HYUNMIN with 10 and 3.
Look, I predicted for KRX, but I don't even think I expected them to look this comfortable at this point in the game. I mean, this is looking a little bit, dare I say it, too easy right now.
Save HYUNMIN.
I mean, that's okay. Well, you know, it's still relatively early, maybe not so much in the map anymore, but this is KRX's map pick. Probably something they studied up against.
Yo,
Gaming's,
what's up? YouTube, what's up?
ART in that final, knowing that this would be the composition that they would employ. So a lot of different plays set up around this, especially this composition as well, to specifically slow down CS.
No A play from the defense, but they are holding this trouble peak.
And high-low.
Oh, and this Boombot is gonna miss.
Smokes come in though, so KRX looking for perhaps an alternate route into the site, maybe through the rotating doors, or to pop flash and swing through this smoke
Young.
instead.
One away from
Something
all.
that on-site gaming might
Bring
not be
one away
too
from all.
privy to right now.
I mean, it's just two.
Paranoia goes through. Don't know that necessarily connected onto Ray. He's still going to be a factor in this round as he
Trades.
tries to hold onto the side. It's only
Oh, but Freeing's holding for.
KRX
Yes.
once again take the A site, and Freeing is
Oh, he's trying to bait
toying
the
with his
peak
food
for the
at
op.
moment. Waiting for the
Wow,
peak
what good
eventually.
team
He's
play.
gonna swing himself and runs right into Wolverine, so that's now advantage onside in a round that it kind of feels
That's
like
good
is
comms.
a must-win. Siesta
Oh,
looking for the
Siesta's
fight
better
that he
form.
eventually manages to find, but doesn't want to go swinging into that showstopper, both of which, by the way, have gone.
Oh, one Mr. Nade and one didn't.
Onside, time starting to tick away here for KRX. They need to
HYUNMIN?
swing. HYUNMIN might be able to do it again.
Oh, but
Hermes is there,
Hermes
though,
gets
to
revenge.
deliver the finishing blow to the round. A third on the board, just as it felt necessary for onside. KRX will not run away with things just yet.
And that's got to feel pretty good for young Hermes as well. Like, Termy, look at me. Now I'm on the other side. This is what I could have done for you. But instead, it's just this trade of ultimates, Steel Garden, Showstopper, of course.
Yo,
a bit with
that was
overdrive
quick as
well,
hell.
but down to the end, even with a bit of positioning, Hermes was the one who was able to put together that little spray transfer. So not too bad, and it keeps onside gaming going further. We'll see if they can kind of do more damage to KRX's economy now with advanced positioning outside C mount.
There's an aggressive spot for Wolverine, but it might just work out as Freeing was
Oh.
not expecting it. And so
Second
again,
time Freeing get caught off
advantage
by an op.
Wolverine in the sniper duel at this stage.
That's like the third time now.
I mean, there was questions, obviously, of what Freeing would look like on this chamber. So far, not too successful in the rounds that have mattered. Yong, however, a double. Starting to open up Mound a little bit. All of a sudden, this round has kind of been thrown into a bit of
3v3 now.
chaos. It's 3-on-3, and there's a lot of holes that KRX can look to exploit.
Just a bit, but they're also, like, you can tell by how they're positioning around it, they don't want to go back towards A site. The operator is certainly a big threat looming against KRX, so they're trying to just overwhelm this site, but Wolverine's in position.
Oh, the timing is
He's
crazy.
Waiting and holding that U till you've got to be patient here as KRX. They might just walk straight into him.
Oh,
exactly as you
but
said.
Ray
There's
has the
paranoia from
timing.
Ray. Doesn't slow
But they
KRX
cut
down all that much.
noise.
They
They
have
make it
20
unsure.
seconds to work
Oh,
with
but
here. The
Ray's
contact play hasn't
trade.
quite worked out, but a 1-for-1 is enough to get
They
them
don't
in and
spot
get
the
them
op
a
yet.
plant. Just got to be aware of how progressed Cloudy is and Wolverine as well, and they're aware now that that
Oh,
has connected. A missed shot. That'll be the
he
end
just
of
gave
Wolverine.
himself up.
So it all falls on the shoulders now of Cloudy to try and clutch this round out. But
Young.
Yong is putting on a clinic.
Young.
And KRX have another to answer the little fight back that Onside put together in that last round. There is no success here in terms of putting
Young.
enough rounds together for Onside to really feel comfortable just yet.
Quite different from that game that they played against ART again. I mean, high pressure situations, but this one just unbelievable because Bane with the spike plant just gets the nightfall, gets that extra bit of information, you know, knowing where Wolverine was positioned, kind of forced him in out to take that duel. Very uncomfortable, but it goes on. Now it's an
Ooh,
outlaw.
just a fraction of a second.
Concern for Freeing though. Apart from the one Marshall round, it has been kind of rough, but at least it's just still that sense that presence against Onside. Onside a bit more daring this time though. They are looking to take a swing against him.
Oh, back to the tried and true for KRX, which is that sort of slow map control early on in the round.
Yeah, they're taking orbs as well. Just a bit of presence. Could always go back towards B site, which right now looking very
They just
bright and
semi-cleared Mound. They just used a power. They just used a prowler to get a
possible
good amount of info,
forward space being taken around A.
and they're
So
willing to gamble on that info.
Couple of players there ready and waiting.
Timing.
Personal though, Cloudy and Hermes get their timing wrong.
Oh my God, freeing. Oh,
I mean, he's doing it against the ecos, I will say. But on the rifle rounds, on the gun rounds, he seems to
damn,
struggle a
freeing
little bit more,
trying to say a word to Young.
Together, so I don't know. Can we be too critical? They're winning, and they're winning pretty hard.
If you win, you know, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Like, look at that, 3K. Could build up to another tour de force before the half ends.
Yeah.
Wolverine has an off now, though, so it's another little sniper duel. We'll see how this one fares. Oh, but then KRX just kind of grouping up together this time around. So maybe a bit of a contact play. They can take down an early player, but nothing found yet. Just Siesta with information to an exchange of utility, but also an empty spot around C Mound. Onside looks to exploit this.
They found my trap.
Once again, our slow walk from KRX.
Show me HYUNMIN's crosshair.
The opposite side of the map, though, so sort of right in pointing out that there is a bit of progress being made over towards C. Even towards B, it's a bit more of a forward hold. At some point, onside are going to
DRX are contacting.
Seeing anything else on the rest of the map, so there must be
Trying to see what they can find. Any clues? Nothing really shows.
Just on the timing there, Young catches Cloudy as
And
he goes looking for
Young
information.
might die.
Avenue into the B
Oh,
side opened up.
yep.
Ray gets
I called
a little
it.
bit lucky to get away with that. Maybe he should have been dead to the spam.
And we go A. Last two players are B. Oh my God.
Ray is getting away with a lot on 19 HP.
Does he think? Oh no, he's just
Now
wrapping
back down
towards
to
heaven.
2v3. You know, I was thinking like it would have been tough for KRX to try to pivot back over to another side because of that op presence, but they actually managed to make it happen because Yang got a 1v1. Retakes tough for onside here. Unless they can
Oh,
oh, the shots whiff.
Oh, Wolverine, he's keen for the fighting here against Freeing. Just not.
Freeing just playing an off angle.
He's going to try to work his way in onto the side.
Oh my God,
Wolverine just has Freeing's number.
these players are so smart.
How much does that really help onside though, as that spike is ticking ever so quickly now. They are really running out of time.
What?
Finished off. Bane, however, being alive
No
will
time.
secure this round. Again, another one for KRX, and that scoreline is starting to look pretty dire for onside.
Just hoping that perhaps it wouldn't end in a 3-9, but who knows with how the economy goes at this point as well. So for all that we're talking about, you know, the op duels, Wolverine having Freeing's number, the impact is it's like not quite there in a lot of these rounds. It just comes down to how quick and how fluid KRX are now being, despite it being a singular duelist composition. It's Young who's still able to take some of these 1v1s on the rotate. He's 10 kills and only 3 deaths. And now they're playing the default.
Well, that is unfortunate for Wolverine. Apparently, if it's not Freeing on the other side of that scope, it's not going to go well for him. So I think four out of his 5 kills might actually be Freeing this game so far.
I think you would be right, Jordan. Now with this positioning as well, could just push up, Steel Garden, pop into the B site, or get, you know, some kind of a bait going. Instead, they're just going to try, well, KRX are going to try to regroup once again with Freeing. Someone's going to watch the flank, the rest of the team to push forward. Bully Hermes into submission. The guy has been sitting on A site for most of these rounds throughout the first half, just trying to work off of his utility, but that can very easily get sidestepped because Mako's in position,
Okay.
you've got Yang close by as well, and of course HYUNMIN.
I mean, onside gaming is pretty good with their gambles.
Very much a commitment from KRX into
They
this
just
A side.
can't.
It's going well so
No
far. Hermes!
fucking way.
I don't know how he's gotten away with 3,
No
but unfortunately, there's a showstopper on the other side. It
fucking
won't matter.
way.
Siesta saves the day for onside.
What was
Hermes just getting away
that?
with murder in the middle of the site. Nobody
What
wanted
was
to shoot
that?
back
That
at
was
him.
so
A
fast.
4th for onside. Should have probably been 9 there for KRX. Let's have a look back at how this round ended up playing out. I mean, a great start for Young.
Indeed. Freeing does mark the flank,
Boom.
but it's like,
Two. And gets
it's
HYUNMIN.
right here.
Jesus, man.
Not the cleanest, it's bloody, it's scrappy, but right at the end when it's needed most as well, Siesta on the Guardian, Freeing just does not have the shot.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's less about that. I don't know that it necessarily comes down to Freeing for me. I think that the 3 players swinging into one guy with a Guardian probably need to be getting a little bit more done there, but in the end, still not a bad half for KRX. HYUNMIN, no surprises. The first half MVP.
I mean, besides that last round, they have been playing the best that I've seen so far. Then again, it's like they are playing a tier 2 team, so take it with a grain of salt.
This season has certainly left a few question marks unanswered, so not prepared to count my chickens before they hatch just yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first time that we're seeing onside in the play-ins right here, the first day. So still kind of tentative as to how the rest of things could go. It was a 5-7 the last time they played against ART in that grand final. Took a while for them to get started on the attacking side as well, onside. So needing to kick this one off just right, but that's why you wonder about the compositions here. A bit of theory with how Young is able to slow Siesta down. Of course, depends how onside tries to work around the setups too. But right now,
oh, he gets one here.
Freeing there, ready with that head
Boom.
up to look for a couple
Got
of
a tag.
Doesn't have any success.
Dies.
Again, it's Wolverine that will get the better of him. So
They don't clear Young. They don't clear Young.
To develop there, Young is going to be clear. There's no doubt in my mind that he's not.
No way, they don't clear him.
You looked
no
for so
way.
long, he didn't clear it. It's just unbelievable that he gets 2. But hey, you just got to take what you can get, and Young happy to take 2 heads, brings it back to 3-on-3.
Bane now.
Shame.
Ultimately gets cut.
Yeah, not able to beat Hermes to the punch. So still okay here for onside.
Otherwise, still also a little bit perhaps lethargic for both sides. You know, little corners overlooked, but also duels not being taken. But onto the possibility of a retake in this 2v3. HYUNMIN's got the nade, Mako has the flash. A smoke's just come back up as well. What's curious though is Ray's positioning. Oh, it doesn't matter.
Well, in the end it does. For HYUNMIN at least. Onside win the second half pistol. So this is certainly not over yet. KRX have a good lead, a significant lead at the end of that first half, but if this defensive side doesn't go well for them, then they're going to be up the creek.
Yeah, labored or not, I mean the duels, the fights are all there. So KRX, I mean, again, if you are rooting for them, you would need to see them just really tighten up some of these screws and get a little bit cleaner. But they're pushing out on this eco. Once again, it's freeing.
Certainly looking for it. Didn't have much
They're
success in
about to
that last
pop.
round. Oh, and has to get back
Everybody's on C except for
Forced away by some of
Hermes.
attacking side util. Spider sense tingling here for Wolverine. Gets the
Trade.
gun out, but only good for the 1-for-1. Paranoia to go forward as well, just pushing onside away.
Picked up a Spectre.
More or less been cleared out. That's why they're on their merry way.
And quickly backpedaling and trying to
Damn,
hold
Ray
the angle
loves these
as well
shredded
alongside
steps.
This Bulldog Siesta in position to support. It's Cloudy alone in a lurk.
Yo.
Oh, missed shots from Hermes, but recalibrates nicely onto Bane. Still a 1-for-1 though, so maybe KRX looking at this as something they can potentially still put together with the time that they've got available. I think a lot of that's going to have to come from freeing, but down to the Sheriff, no more shots in the head. Hunter, HYUNMIN, only the one. It's not going to be enough to trouble onside. 6-8, and scoreline is creeping ever closer.
Yeah, still not the cleanest of rounds, and that's what I'm paying more attention to, the fact that they've kind of lost a couple of guns. The Phantom preserved at the end, but it still costs them a lot of bodies, so economy a bit rough for the next one, depending on how it goes. We'll also see if KRX are able to indeed deny that bonus. 4 rifles and a lot of light shields now. But another thing to note would be Hermes loves to begin a lot of these rounds by just placing the shear wall towards the back. Marks the rotate. If not, he might start to push up around it too. Not for this round though. 1-4, just clear as day. The rest of the team just trying to chip away at the A site. KRX just waiting for this. Oh, and there goes Hermes again. Leaves the wall alone this time.
1 for 1.
Trade.
KRX need a
B
little
split.
more than that. They're going to start to lose their defensive
Is Young
setups.
ready? Young is it?
1 for 1. Young is gonna
Young needs one
try
now.
activate in this mid round, but he just gets shot in the side by Hermes, and all of a sudden this B site is taken. That's what I'm talking about. Holes in the defense starting to open up.
Yo, and they win their
Side
bonus.
for a plant. Bane
Oh, wait.
catches
Wait.
Ray as he's trying to transition through, but that only brings it back to a 2v3, which is still not enough to feel confident for KRX here. They also have Freeing kind of out of position. He has to work his way forward. It's going to take some time, and they don't really have the luxury of a whole lot of time right here. Actually, now they can start to have a little bit of a look as they try to activate together. Freeing in for the fight against Siesta. Won't be able to win that one, and Bane now has a really tough job to do, which I might even call impossible. So onside up to 7, and as quick as it starts, this second half is really starting to heat up now for onside.
Yeah, a little bit more for Siesta too. Starting to see him get involved in a lot of these fights, get the trades going. And it's quite clear, you know, what Onside's tactical plan is. They have Hermes on a bit of a lurk, has the wall. If no one pushes up against his wall, he's able to find pivot position. You know, the rest of the team makes so much noise around a site. It's quite clear that KRX is going to have more reinforcements around that spot. So they suddenly pivot back over onto B, and they just find that so quick. And now the economy on their side as well. Onside looks to dominate, pushing forward in this second half. Let's take a listen in.
얘들아 B 프라로 한번 밀고 오자 얘들아. 다시 해야 할 거야 그러면? 아니 웬만하면 다시 그냥 C로 갈 것 같은데? C 올라갈 만해 사실. 프로 한번 막을게. 앞에?
No. Freeing.
바이트 C 홀딩일 거야.
Mako to outlaw.
바이트 C 뺐다.
Yo, just spotted Hermes.
그랬다.
들어간 거 없어. 들어간 거 없어.
다시 할게 나 이거.
오른쪽에 그 무조건이야. 같이 가야 돼. 같이 가야 돼.
슬라이드 한번
빼나, 빼나.
셋 감사 할게. 한다.
고고고.
둘 셋. 버터 챔바 잡았고 백탄.
Well, here comes onside into that C site. There was a couple of exciting moments for KRX at the start of this round.
Yo, and they just bully their way.
That seems like normalcy is starting to return to it as onside get that plan down. They have the numbers advantage now as well, and just kind of keeping KRX at bay for the moment. HYUNMIN, no chance.
They
there,
just fight
really.
together.
Swing coordination from onside, leaving Mako alone. So it's going to be 8-8, and onside, equalizing with KRX, is going to start to put that pressure back on their shoulders. I mean, it was such a great start to the map for KRX, but maybe it's happening again.
Again, I mean, yeah, I'm telling you, just watch how Hermes kind of gets that forward positioning for his team. And of course, a lot of the big swings and trades as well. I mean, not too bad from KRX. It's an outlaw that Mako managed to scavenge from, you know, a dead player as well. But despite the hold from Freeing, as soon as the C site was taken, because of Hermes and that little bit of forward space that he finds past his own shear wall, again, makes it tough. And what to make things worse, Onsite gets the spike plant towards the back of site. They hold out from CT instead, which is so smart. We'll see what Freeing can do now onto this op, though. 4-1 for KRX. They're pushing around A. They spot nothing, immediately pivoting over into a 1-2-2. We'll see if Yang can indeed slow things down with his utility. It's just one piece of thorns at the mouth of C site. He has extra cover with the shear wall now.
Looks like it might just be an explosive play from onside if they do decide to go for it over towards C. I mean, they've got plenty of time to wait.
They're hoping for Hermes to be able to spot something out, but also considering the potential of an op. Maybe not
Then
this
he
way,
gets a
though.
pick.
Well, that'll be the go signal for onside. Showstopper
They're
not
unaware.
connecting. Wolverine
They are
up
aware.
high in the sky will be
This
put
is
down by
KRX's
Bay.
round.
Now we have to see what Siesta can do. There's really nothing delivered.
Good round.
Just as it seems like onside are starting to come into their own. KRX fight back. And they look to hold on to the lead.
Yeah. Just needing to build up on him. I mean, it's just a magnificent hold by KRX, like you mentioned. It's quite clear the plan, you know, if Hermes falls, the rest of the team just immediately tries to pop off on a timing into C site, but the call perhaps a little bit off. It's Showstopper, it's HYUNMIN with the nades and everything to hold, and immediately Wolverine gets shut down. Even a Siesta pops in with the overdrive too. So all things considered, even though this was a round picked up by KRX and being able to clean this one up at the end as well, with a headshot too, it was kind of costly for onside. Gonna be licking their wounds after that one. Not too sure if we might need another timeout by Coach Hype. Or perhaps just to be able to write that one off and kind of consider what else you could do onto the next. But they have built up quite a bit of cushioning, so it's not impossible. Nightfall Steel Garden available for onside to try to break things open, but again, it's freeing.
Oh, what a shot.
That's a good kill. Starts things nicely. Onside pressure right back on their shoulders now as KRX looking to build a bit of momentum in this defensive half. So onside pushed away from Ruins over towards Mound, right into a headshot from Yong, and at this point, any plan that you had in this round has kind of just gone up in flames, and onside are kind of scrambling to see what they can do. Maybe towards this C site. Ray triggering that wall, can't even get the better of Marco, so across the board you're losing duels, and as a result you're kind of just losing this round.
Yeah, not much else to be said. Steven trying to hold on to these rifles for 50 seconds now might be tough look at freeing. It's just showing the extra layer of depth that KRX kind of play around with. A bit of coaching work, just the positions that they work around. A shallow-ish kind of sheer wall placed around the seaside makes it tough for Ray to sneak past too. Like he thought he could, but ultimately just pilfered right at the end. And there's nothing much else that Hermes can try to do. He tries to look or source for a 1v1, but there's just too much to consider at this point.
10 seconds left.
So just to save, look to the next round. It's going to be some slight hero rifles, but this is why I said the previous round was pretty costly as well. If Siesta had held on to the overdrive, maybe then you have a conversation for the next one. But because that was already spent, now you're looking 8-10, economy's down. We're looking at a possible 3, maybe 4-round gap, depending on how the rest of this could go.
Yep.
If it is a 4-round gap, like this map could be done.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, certainly. KRX just giving themselves enough room, enough wiggle room with that first half scoreline, 8-4. Despite a little bit of a resurgence here from onside, it's going to take them digging extra deep to get through this map now. Second timeout coming through from onside. Running out of time, and they're well aware of it.
Yeah. They're digging, they're breaking.
Damn, I'm so used to VOD reviewing.
You know, it's light
Like,
shields as well,
I'm so used to skipping these breaks that
Coach Hype, of course,
I'm literally trying to skip it,
himself,
but it's live right now.
Who does follow Game Changers Pacific, maybe Champions as well. He led the Korean team 9 tails to some of these performances, some of these finishes before. So we'll see how much value that provides right now, because it's sorely needed, at least for this first map. There's still a bit more to go possibly, because KRX's Sunset hasn't been the hottest either, you know, all throughout stage 2. So there's always still a chance, but of course chances are something.
Chances are thin.
It's something that we're counting.
Chances
are
low.
as well. Only 2 to be able to survive and possibly qualify for playoffs. Freeing with the operator once again.
Back to square one here for onside. They need to make something work, and this is bold. It's
Whoa,
an interesting
ult
decision.
into spawn.
Raise in the back of the map now. It's going to be a real thorn in the side of KRX. They're going to go
Oh,
hunting for
just
him.
to punish Freeing.
Freeing having no success
What
there, but
a
now
ballsy
information given over
play.
onside are into that B site.
Just waiting for the spike to get in.
Yo, the
Try
raise.
his timing.
Bane with
Gets a couple numbers.
2.
Actually, more than I'd
Might have just
anticipated
saved the
out of him.
round.
Paranoia here might not necessarily help out too much. Ray still
And
happy to
Mako
wait patiently for that fight. Show stop
wants HYUNMIN to save the round.
Will not have any success.
Someone save.
Spike's still on the floor here, so onside do kind of have to go and try and find that. And if HYUNMIN
Oh,
gets his
timing
timing
peak.
right,
Almost
maybe
got
something
it.
could happen there, but
Almost
a
got it.
brilliant round out from Ray in the end. He gets the 4K in it with the bold play to teleport back into the defensive spawn.
Almost
KRX
got it.
now facing just that one round.
Question for
gap
chat.
again.
Yeah, off the timeout too.
Does
is
this go
really
3
ridiculous.
maps?
I mean, sometimes known for his Ray lay.
Run hour first
Now
map.
onto the Omen is still providing a lot of
Seemed
value
like
for the team as well. I mean, Omen
KRX
TP'd
were
backside.
set
You might
up
have heard the run they
to
drew, it
win
just
this map.
finds Positional kill off of it.
Timeout.
Attempt on a timing as well from KRX. Perhaps
But now
a little
that
too risky.
onside gaming is kind of making a
Brazen.
comeback. I mean, we
So
can see,
once
look.
again, the gap kind of gets inched
We
a
can
bit
see.
closer, but
We can see.
some economical
this.
damage as well does leave
Look at all
onside
this.
still wanting a bit more. Of course, Ray can purchase up for Wolverine.
And
still,
this
though,
round was a
Hermes as
big
well,
old
so
question mark.
just kind
It's
of
because
counting everything. It's
KRX kind of
Free
threw.
onto tour de force now.
KRX kind of threw.
I mean, you just kind of watch for how a lot of the different positions work around, and that one was afforded because of Ray's kind of.
Oh, you
TP
can't even
to
see
slow
my
down the timing,
EpiPen.
slow down the rotations from
EpiPen.
KRX. They always had to watch out towards the back of spawn. They weren't sure where he was going to be.
Dang it.
Not too sure
How do I
about the
fix
next
that?
few rounds though, because if we don't see a, well, somebody wake him up. What's going on?
Wake up!
This is entertaining
Oi!
Valorant. Jesus, look
Wait.
at the scoreline.
Dang it.
Paid to be here.
But
Anyways,
yeah, I mean, unless onside changes
this is about to
their
be a
game plan,
3-9
see
half,
something
but
different instead of
then
just,
KRX
usually
rolled
pivot
the
position.
last round, and
Might
since
be a
then
little
they've
tough.
been in a shell.
Freeing, different angle of approach, and Yang to jiggle for info. And as always, Hermes again, this is a tough angle for him to take down. Freeing's marking it. Hermes does have a bit
Damn,
of scope
imagine
for
being
some
Wolverine.
horns, and he's trying to jiggle.
Imagine being Wolverine.
Oh, Hermes
You're not having your best
gonna be
game, and your
making some
team
mistakes.
is still
Freeing's been a little bit up and down
in a
this
close
map. I think
game.
he'd be
Yeah.
good enough for that one.
as a secondary
Spotted him
duelist.
on the mini map, and Hermes knows where Freeing's position. Just you can't take that duel, buddy.
Cloudy's gonna drop a prowl around that corner.
Does he
Happy to
spot
just
him?
get back on the line.
Uh-oh.
Now the smoke through is going to work.
Oh, Freeing.
On the jump spot actually from HYUNMIN. Freeing is aware that they're now out. He's going to take the peek. He's got to be looking for it.
Oh,
Doesn't
HYUNMIN.
actually need to do too much because apparently HYUNMIN's got it on lock. And that's finally
Oh,
what
they
Freeing
just missed
was waiting
both of.
for all along.
They missed their timing.
KRX, their
Ooh.
patience being rewarded. Just going to duck their way back into their side.
Freeing is already one shot.
Clock. Onside are going to have to come to them, and they're going to have to come with only 3 players up against 5. So not an easy task.
HYUNMIN?
HYUNMIN winning another duel for himself.
God.
Kind of channeling some of that form that we
God.
saw early in the first half, making this round look easy. And it's gone horribly wrong for onside. They just really didn't feel like they got to play that round at all.
Yeah.
10-9.
Tour de force, HYUNMIN the support. Like, this is lovely stuff from KRX. I do applaud the little attempts at a change-up from onside, though. Like, they're trying to find a bit more
11-9.
depth, perhaps, with their macro. You know, this time it wasn't just Hermes to try to take the duel. You have Ray with the smokes. You have, was it Cloudy to try to source out Freeing's position with a Prowler too? But even with the flashes, even with Cloudy trying to take an angle, one thing they didn't expect was HYUNMIN to be that close by, and the guys just continued to build up kill
HYUNMIN.
after kill.
Bro's ballin'.
Now we're looking at map point pretty
Bro
soon.
has
This
20.
could be a big buy from onside. Oh,
Oh.
HYUNMIN, again, doesn't
Stray.
seem to have too many troubles finding
Oh,
kills. He's in and out of that,
that was a
dumb
little
cover.
weird.
Unfortunately, falls eventually.
And onside will getting win their
Onside getting
duels.
the entries that they need this time around.
I
Even
mean,
Bane
if Bane
down
is
10
able to get
HP. He's
Hermes,
barely standing. Hermes should be picking him up here.
damn, they're just so
The
fast.
player left to worry about is Yong. His position noted by that sheer wall as well.
Young won this.
So he'll be covered
He's just not ready for.
by Ray,
Oh, he
who
missed.
misses a sitter.
He
That's
can
probably
get
not the end of the
both.
world unless Yong can pull off something of a miracle right here. He's been kind of given a bit
Yo,
of a chance
that was
there.
too
Ray will make
fast.
the same mistake twice if you know, Yong was to get through there, but not the case this time around. And so onside, keep it within one. Yeah, really fighting for this map.
There's some of these swings short. And again, it's just KRX kind of looking for a scrap. I mean, this time around, just onside.
By the
being
way,
able to bulldoze
leave a
their way
like, leave a
through a lot of
like
these
for the stream,
progression
leave a like for the
smokes. KRX
stream.
have had their way with
Let's
these
bump it
setups
up,
for
let's
the
boost it
longest
up.
time. It's nice to see them
Hashtag
made
save
to
HYUNMIN.
respect it. Still keeping with the same setup though. It's both sides 4-1, and they're looking for the duels.
1-for-1 to start things off, but HYUNMIN again is here to cause
Bro, if he
a bit
got
of
a third
problem,
one.
and now it's Freeing's turn as well to get
Bro, that was
involved.
so
Marco's
fast. I
there
have to replay that. I have to replay
assist.
that.
It's a quicker attempt really from onside, isn't it?
I have to replay
The
that.
same thing can be assist. It's now it's but HYUNMIN again. The
Bro.
duels. 1-for-1 to start things off, but
Boom,
HYUNMIN
boom.
again.
Oh,
is
just 1
inside.
second off.
We have to look at, this time around, it's a lot
Sheesh,
more micro
man.
plays. The difference
Sheesh, man.
in how the Rebel fight
It's
actually
just too easy,
ensues.
man.
1v3 though, still tough for Hermes as he makes it an attempt, but goes down to the off at the end.
Okay, match
Which
point.
Well, coincidentally is what started off the round 2. You have, a lot of the smokes. HYUNMIN, of course, with some advanced positioning. A lucky shot was what kicked things off, but ultimately it's
Yo.
a bit of an attempt with a nightfall, but HYUNMIN being able to swing around with a flash perhaps from Mako to just find
Bro, they know. They're
some
knowers.
crucial kills
They're
to be able to
knowers.
shut down onside's push. And here we are with map point now secured. Alts all abound.
This could be it for KRX, at least in terms of closing out this map. Do you have the showstopper invested by
Yo,
Wolverine,
what
though?
is
That's
Mako
gonna be
doing?
something that Mako cannot deal with. Bane here, HYUNMIN as well, looking to retake the site before the plans
Whoa,
even
what
go
is going on?
down.
Oh, and
Bane
Bane.
getting it done, the 3K
And
will finish the
GG.
map off with the help of Yong
GG.
KRX. Well, there were certainly some questions about them coming into this map, coming into this
Yo,
series.
everybody that
all
just
that
tuned in
hype
right
on
now.
the side of
They literally
onside.
just finished the
And yet
map.
it's KRX that walk away with the win in the opening map. at
KRX
the very
looking
least,
a
and they
lot
say,
better.
Hey, this is our stage, buddy.
We've been here for multiple weeks, multiple years even, and they certainly show it. I mean, some of these duels, the kills that HYUNMIN collects up on, round to round with how they're able to play with their setups too, especially on this defense.
Sheesh,
You can see
man.
why this composition was brought in very much so for this. Siesta didn't really have too much of a good time, but it's tough. But either way, with the scoreline 13-10, let's hear it down onto the stage from the coach.
Time to hear from Coach Termi. Congratulations, Termi, on winning Lotus. But why was Freeing on the Chamber and Yong on the Vice? 감독님, 로터스 승리 정말 축하드리고요. 일단 조합에 대해서 여쭤보고 싶은데 프링 선수가 체인버를 잡고 있더라고요. 용 선수는 바이스로 굉장히 좋은 모습을 보여줬는데 어떤 배경이 있었을까요?
우선
Man, it would be great to learn
팬분들은 뭐
a second
처음
language.
보시겠지만 저희
Korean,
과정에서 굉장히
Japanese,
오랫동안
Spanish.
해왔었고, 저희 팀에
French.
있던 선수들 중에 사실 체인버를 가장 잘 했었어요. 근데 뭐
I feel like not only does it like open you up like culturally,
하준
but it just like
하면서 좀 재밌게 즐긴 것 같고
makes you more
Well, for the fans, it might be the first time seeing Freeing on the Chamber.
feel like
but
it
it's
makes you
something that we've
more,
been testing and running in scrims for a while, and I think
empathetic.
he was our best chamber player in our current roster, and I think he's been having fun. So thus, he had a really good performance on the chamber on Lotus. Well, you got to see what onsite gaming was like on stage as well. What do you think you need to do to close this out 2-0? 이제 온사이드 게이밍이 어느 정도로 게임을 하는지 좀 확인해 볼 수 있었던 시간이었는데요. 2대 0으로 오늘 경기 끝내려면 좀 어떤 부분이 필요할까요?
사실 온사이드 경기를 준비하면서 저희가 온사이드 게임이랑 스크림을 상당히 많이 했었는데 전적이 뭐 비등비등할 정도로 굉장히 잘하는 팀이라고 저는 생각을 하고 있었고 플레인에 올라온 2부 리그 팀 중에 가장 잘한다고 생각하고
And also being like a translator, like, isn't it crazy?
정말 퍼시픽 한 중위권도 가능한 그 위도
Like,
가능한 실력을 갖고 있다고
Well, for one, you need to listen to what they're
굉장히
saying, but you also need to internalize and
저희가
translate
이기려면 사실 모두가
It's
예상하다시피
into
아무래도 첫 큰 무대다 보니
English.
온사이드 게임 선수들이
Like in this
긴장할 수
case,
있잖아요.
obviously she hears them speaking, is thinking about, okay, I'm listening, I hear what she's saying, but then there's like a bunch of nuances. Like, there's a bunch of different.
Well, I think we actually scrimmed onsite gaming a lot, and as we were prepping for this match,
There's a bunch of like grammar and nuances and tonality that determine
I don't know, maybe top 6 out of all the Pacific teams here. In
how
play-ins.
a
They're
thing
definitely
is translated.
The best teams that made it from tier 2 to play-ins right now. But I think they were feeling a bit nervous on stage on Lotus. So I think that's something we can take advantage of. And we really need to take the pace and control the pace of the game using how they feel right now on stage as well. So I think if we do that, we could close this out 2-0.
Bro, the Porsche logo kind of looks nice.
KRX looking to be the pacemakers. No, not that thing that Paper Thin has to keep his heart pumping. They go out with this double senti comp and look to try to dictate the aggression that Onside wanted to bring to the table. And, I mean, you know, it's doubled at some moments, but they were able to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they did a great job. This is the kind of thing we've been wanting to see from KRX. HYUNMIN was firing, but I feel like you got to shout out Young on the Vice. He did a great job. Freeing on the Chamber did much better than his previous performance. This was a well-rounded KRX with a clear and clean game plan in my mind. So very clearly the better team.
Yeah, I think game plan-wise and macro-wise, it's what really won KRX this game. For Onside, a couple of nervy opening debuts from some of their players, maybe not having enough firepower across the board to get this game done. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, KRX continues to be this flexible team that I feel like would be a little bit of a nightmare. I'm thinking the same thing for Full Sense. Some of these teams coming up from challenges, you just don't know what you're going to expect from a team like KRX or Full Sense. So it kind of takes away from that prep advantage that you would usually get as a challengers team.
I mean, Termy was talking about it. They've scrimmed against this team many times in the past. I'm sure as soon as they were getting closer and closer to the play-ins becoming a real thing, they probably took a pause on that one, but seems like they use that familiarity against them, as well as one of the things that he spoke about was kind of seeing the nerves from this team, and that's always something that we have to keep in mind. It's a bit of an intangible, but I think that was on display. It was a little bit slow to kind of get rolling here for Onside.
Yeah, I definitely agree, and I feel like if they've played a lot in the past, this is the same Lotus that they've been playing back in Challengers, and it didn't seem very different to what they were doing there at all. I feel like this was not the best way to use that prep time and advantage. I mean, we have Sunset next, so hopefully we'll see a bit more of it there, but ultimately they weren't clean enough in this game. You see Ray at the top of the scoreboard. I feel like he held his own, but unfortunately a couple players down towards the bottom couldn't get themselves into this game. It felt like, whereas KRX, everybody's pretty consistent and holding their own there.
They're already used to the stage. I think you see this from rookies all the time. Having a team of 5 rookies that all perform in their debut game in Pacific is extremely unlikely.
True.
Somebody is going to let the nerves get to them. Somebody is going to have a rough day at the office. So it's up to Onside to be able to bounce back from that on their own map pick, because KRX is not going to have any prep for how they're playing Sunset here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very different circumstance compared to a team like Feral, where you have Foxy, who's played so many games. You really only have Hermes, who in his own right has an incredibly limited amount of games that he was able to play on this stage when he was on DRX. So as far as having that veteran presence to try to stabilize the nerves and keep everybody focused, that is going to be lacking. So who knows how this is all going to shake out. But that was still, you know, the KRX map pick. But we'll take a look back at some of the moments here from Lotus that were overall quite good for them.
Yeah, I felt like KRX had great macro to start this round out. You see Freeing feel out the A-take there. They don't use much utility here, KRX, and as such, they're able to recognize that it's only the solo Vice playing on this C site, and they take full control, and they have so much utility left over for the post plans you can see on the right side of their screen. So you're going to see the retake attempt here, mostly from Spawn side over here, as well as Waterfall on the right side of your screen.
local
And KRX is going to make this choke point here an absolute nightmare for Onside to retake.
Trying to stay for the
so you're going to see the
series.
first wave of utility coming out on the retake is the Nightfall here for Onside. The reply is Seize Nade. The follow-up from that is going to be a Paranoia as well as an Arc Rose here for KRX. So when you see this retake finally come in here for Onside Gaming, they get absolutely blasted as they try to step into this choke point, and KRX was just on top of it. And the reason why I find that so impressive here for the most part is the fact that Onside has repped this map 6 times with this exact same comp. They will have run into the same scenario over and over and over again. So if KRX is coming out on top with
2
a fresh new
minutes,
comp
2 minutes
in a
left.
scenario like that in the Seaside retake,
You know what's funny about
then you're a
these
little bit
Red
worried
Bull
about Onside.
cans?
You should be expecting them to
For
be able
those
to win some of those
watching in
retakes now.
vertical,
And Efring was
there's a Red
routinely
Bull
able to walk out
bridge
and bait that util. He
on the
was
left
setting them up
side
for an advantage
of the
every single
caster.
round.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about
In
it in the green
green.
room. We said, okay, if they're able to get 4 or 5 rounds, they're going
And
to be feeling pretty good as they
it's a
shift
fridge
over to the
full
defender
of
side
Red
with a couple
Bulls.
Senti. They were able to
I'm
find
like thinking
well
like,
more than that, and a lot of it had to do with HYUNMIN. This guy, he
yeah, that's
continues to
cool.
be on point for KRX.
I mean, he is the
What does it look
shining
like
star
empty?
of this team at the
I'm pretty
moment.
sure it's
He
always
was a
full.
hero for them over a Champions
I'm pretty sure they're
Paris,
not
and he's
allowed
looking
to
run
take
this all the way
Red
back to
Bulls
Shanghai
out
because
of
we know
there.
how great this
It's
guy
just for show.
can be at an international level, and he shows no signs of slowing down. In my mind, I feel like he's saving KRX time and time again. He's winning rounds for them entirely on his own sometimes. This is what we want to see
Ooh,
from him because
man, I
he
love
is a
APAC.
superstar.
Yeah, and this is what I was pointing out.
Look
I
at the parody.
earmarked this before we even kind of went into this game. The debut game in kickoff was on Lotus from HYUNMIN on the Raze, and he's done exactly the same thing however many years later, however many maps later. And it was really up to KRX to come into this matchup and say to Onside Gaming here, we're the big boys. Like, HYUNMIN needs to be in bully mode, and that's exactly what he did. He really showed his individual skill. He gave Onside no breathing room, and he really kind of sent a message straight away.
Yeah, the mirror there in the stats just kind of paints a picture. Like, consistency is there. That was lacking when it came down to the Phoenix on the initial debut. He started to step up in that form, and then the Raze continues to deliver here for KRX. So, I mean, scary position to be in if you're Onside, because KRX, you know, they've been just kind of leaning back in. They've decided, you know, oh, actually, it's not the shirt, it is the pants. Let's change those. We're sticking with Yong this week, and while they do change the comp around, it ends up looking good, and Yong looked excellent on that Vice. So, if they're going to be able to continue this form, you're going into this sunset. Sure, there's, of course, those intangibles. You don't know what they're going to be running, but KRX, they look to be informed. But so for now, we're going to send things down to Jen, who's going to be standing by with Onside's coach.
Here with Coach Hype of Onside Gaming. Coach, how would you evaluate Lotus, especially with KRX coming up with double Sentinels composition? 감독님, 로터스에 대해서 어떻게 평가하시는지 들어보고 싶습니다. 일단 KRX 쪽에서는 투감시자 조합으로 바꿔 들고 왔거든요.
제가 생각했을 때는 KRX 쪽에서 굉장히 저희 경기 많이 본 것 같아요. 그래서 저희가 좀 많이 공격적인 플레이를 많이 하거든요. 그러다 보니까 이제 안정화 부분에서 있어도 이
he's so soft spoken.
이제 어느 정도 밟기가 무서워지고 하는 문제점이 생길 수 있는 부분을 잘 캐치하셔가지고 준비해 오신 것 같아요.
I think they watched a lot of our games and did their VOD analysis because we like to play very aggressive style, and by using the double sentinels, they can kind of play into the instability that this composition has. Well, what about the nerfs? Do you feel like Lotus was enough for you guys to deal with the nerfs and warm up to the stage? 그러면 이제 또 긴장감이나 부담감에 대해서도 좀 여쭤보고 싶은데 로터스 이후로 확실히 좀 손이 풀렸을까요?
너무 풀렸다고 생각해요. 그리고 생각보다 첫 세트를 어떻게 보면 되게 비등비등하게 갔잖아요. 그래서 다음 세트 기대해도 괜찮지 않을까. 그리고 어떻게 보면 오프라인 첫 무대예요. 파시픽에. 그래서 그 첫 무대 했으니까 이제 두 번째 무대부터 진심 무대 가야죠.
알겠습니다. Yeah, of course. I mean, the scoreline on Lotus, it was actually closer than I expected. So that was our first map on Pacific LAN. You know, coming into map 2, I think we can definitely do better. So a lot for the fans to expect from us. Thank you very much, Hype, and good luck.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.
So chill, so hype.
That's what the players are going to be able to bring. The hype we want to be seeing Onside come out swinging. This is their map pick. They have never had to show this. How does it look? What do we expect from the comps?
This is the surprise map pick for them.
Ooh.
Oh, but it's a mirror. I think that's about as unlucky as you can go for Onside. This is the one
Yeah,
where you're
man,
trying
on
to catch
your
them
own.
off guard. And KRX know this comp inside and out. The roles are also very interesting here. Hermes is the one on the Yoru for onside. We know he's done it in the past, and he'll be going
Yoru is busted.
on the other side.
Yet it's going to be a comp change yet again here for KRX as they head into Sunset. They played a few different comps, so once again, that's going to be difficult for onside to prep and get a good read on into this one. But we've seen Yoru being more and more prevalent on Sunset, particularly in Pacific, and mostly I've seen a lot of impact from it on the defensive side, and that's where onside will start here, so hopefully they can get nice and comfy.
A lot of curiosities about how this one is going to be playing out. HYUNMIN has played Yoru a little bit in the past. It has not been prevalent for him. Hermes tried to replicate Flashback, couldn't do it. They weren't satisfied with it, so HYUNMIN says, I will do it myself. We'll see how this plays out as we get into Sunset. Send it back over to the Sussy boys.
Surely HYUNMIN's got it, right?
Yeah, that we will. I mean, look, still some question marks in my mind here about what this actually looks like for KRX, because yeah, they won map 1, but it got pretty damn close. So if onside have done their work and they come into this second map looking pretty good, I think KRX are going to have their hands full.
Maybe? I mean, that's the question, right? Like, what does the work look like now, and how does it fare when KRX kind of tossed in a little bit of a wrench in your plans, you know, playing a mirror comp as well?
HYUNMIN on Yoru. Surely it'll be good, right? Surely.
HYUNMIN taking things into his own hands, just trying to show Hermes how it's done a bit better. Who knows? You got to consider, of course, Freeing as well, who was just kind of, you know, heating up a little bit with the snipers back on the first map.
Well, let's get into it. Let's see what KRX can deliver on the attack of a map, which has been a little bit questionable for them so far.
Bringing back on a Neon, Young on the Cypher.
To work towards something on this map, and that's already not a bad start.
Oh, 2 for 1.
Siesta and Cloudy.
HYUNMIN still has his flash.
Some success in being able to cross forward, though.
Wow, that was an easy dodge. Easiest dodge of his life.
Back towards market.
Oh,
Peek through the cage, though. A mistake there.
You just spotted 2.
Waiting. And now we're back
Empty B site.
All of a sudden, with the B site being taken, smoke out. First port of call, really, you'd think here would have to be trying to get rid of HYUNMIN, but it seems like onside are going to completely ignore that and try to push their way forward, which is going to really bring this into, I think, HYUNMIN's hands as to what he decides he wants to do. That may be the dictating force in this round. Yong goes down early on in the piece, and now
but HYUNMIN has the timing. Mako just did
to dislodge
so
Wolverine
good.
And actually slows things down as well with that paranoia and dark cover.
Okay, here's both.
The time to start to work his way forward.
No
They're going to be able
way.
to back up together. Marco's
No
way. HYUNMIN gets
way.
nothing done as well. Oh,
Mako.
that's
Mako.
a fumble from KRX.
It's an imposter. That's not Mako.
Mako
That's not
They could
Mako.
have swung together.
Mako, we got 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Alone and gave the game away.
By every meaning of the word, Jordan. Oh, that was truly fumbled. Started things off, you know, also not the greatest, like, just weird aim duels all towards middle, and you just see the sheriffs popping off, but HYUNMIN does so well. You had the flash, you had the smoke, Mako. Just on to the player who's, like, jiggling back and forth to try to set up that high-low round for main. Oh, no. Well, to go again. HYUNMIN with a Guardian. Interesting.
Guardian full shields. Hermes with the
Quite sure, like, what the game plan
Marshall.
is meant to be if you're trying to
HYUNMIN. Perfect position.
tools.
Oh, he just took some damage.
No duels to be found as of yet.
Ray.
Sort of seen
Oh,
this
you
kind
can
of vibe
use.
from KRX earlier on in the season when they were running that triple duelist.
I don't know about here.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to make it work on occasion, but it didn't feel like a massive win con.
Whoa, what is going on?
Siesta, he's spinning around doing what he can, but really nothing too outrageous happening in this round.
Oh, almost got one.
Kills come through for KRX, but onside get through it, 2-0. He's going to be the lead, it's going to be the start. With that investment of the Guardian through from KRX, it doesn't result in a whole lot.
No, and now onside gets to potentially have a bonus. I mean, like, I needed to see some, you know, concrete evidence of a plan, but just peeking down towards middle sets yourself up for, you know, this kind of a crunch where onside Siesta just looking for the spray transfers. It's tough, and now you find yourself with a weaker economy. Who knows, but it certainly is working out pretty neatly for Onside, who are once again setting their sights all across the map, a little bit towards middle. You've got early trips and recons as well outside of A and B. Nothing seen for the time being, and of course with the Yorus in play as well, you do kind of need to slow things down a bit, perhaps wait for the gate crash to expire. Nothing invested for the time being though, on both sides, just because of maybe how the economy has gone a little as well.
Mako taking the damage. Not taking the damage literally, but taking the money. The money damage.
The drone,
taking the econ hit.
To B, see if they can fish for anything.
Drone dealt with. Cage goes up
Spotted
here as well.
one.
KRX, they're not going to be too worried about it. They'll try to push their way through anyway. Got their own util.
Freeing.
Them safe for now, and Freeing having found that
They're in
entry.
Cross.
30 seconds left.
Provide a little bit of space on the site for the plan. Another
Whoa,
for
they
Freeing,
just
and now one for Bane
clean
as
sight.
well. Onside had the
Oh my
pieces where they
God.
needed them, but Freeing has just picked them apart one by one. So this bonus round from Onside has not gone the way they would have wanted it to. Even despite the fact that Marco's down to just the Sheriff in this round, there's really nothing. And HYUNMIN will finish it off.
HYUNMIN
So KRX
with 2.
get themselves one on the board, get a start into the map at least.
And of course all done at the hands of some of the duelists. I mean, Freeing namely in this round. I mean, two things that come to mind for me, Jordan, is just also the fact that like both teams are kind of running into this matchup on this map a little bit blind. You know, you can kind of have ideas from your own practices and other experiences as well, but just being able to break open the trips and everything, like having the setups, having the positions and angles all found upon. You know, the clone definitely coming in handy for KRX on the execute too. On site though, we'll be able to buy back up, so let's have a listen in to see if they can hold on to their lead.
캠 안 보였어. 시간 쓰나 보다 근데. 나 비 계속 없어. TP 태우는 거 같아. 시원아 탐이랑 봐줄래 이거? 그냥 앞에 볼게. 캠 확인해. 3m 연막 갖고 하나? 나 바로 박을게 그냥 바로 박을게 연막. 하나. 미드 올게 3m. 야 미드 안 보여. 사이드 조심하지. 스모그만 나 이제. A 오는 사운드 얘들아 하나. 시원아 땡겨. A 하나 A 드로닝 한번. 하고 사이트스 박자 근데. 해보 들은 거 같아.
Hermes doesn't get spotted.
Just being tested by a bit of pressure.
HYUNMIN
Noting
clears
he's
this.
got the Bucky in hand too, and it's another corner that kind of goes unchecked for the opposing side this time.
No punish. Gets out.
Still unable to really dislodge Hermes there.
Wow.
Ray as well, chiming in onto Yong, who was just sort of misking about on the other side of the map. They know that
What a
there's someone
clear.
around somewhere, and eventually Freeing will clear that out. It does kind of open the A side up, particularly with that fast lane cutting off any real impact that Siesta could potentially have had on the entry there. There's a dark cover now as well. Plan's gone down.
It makes you wonder about the possibility of a 3v4 post-plant hold, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking
Ooh.
about as those two quick picks come through for KRX.
3v2.
All of a sudden, it's right back on. The round was looking bad.
Only got a
Now,
cam and a
takes a
cage
different turn.
and a shrouded step.
2v3, Ray and Wolverine. We have to try to establish something here. Wolverine's going to walk through his own cage right into the crosshair of Freeing, and that's really not where you want
Bro
to be.
just
He's having a great
gave Ray
map
the
so
freest
far.
kill of his life.
Just Ray alive now, and really not much of a chance in this round. Shock Dart will tag him up. There's a
Off.
good kill onto Marco, but you've still got to get past
Oh.
Bane. But there's no time. It was a good shot, but alas, it will not matter. Onside do drop this round as well. 2-2 the score. It's an expensive one for KRX,
That
but
was
a round is
fast.
a round. You'll take it every day of the week.
No doubt. Even with the ult that he gets, you know, it's Omen TP, so maybe not the biggest one to consider. But nonetheless, I mean, well put together by KRX, just being able to hold down for time. I mean, the key phrasing, like you said it, Jordan, quick peaks, and Freeing just quickly finds that first one. You can kind of see like the hesitance in some of the retake plays, the swings that Onside would have loved to do as well, because, you know, it's one of the things about experience or playing on this stage. You know, KRX have been doing this so long, onside, like, they start to lose maps, duels, they start to slow it down a little bit too, but Ray starting to heat up. Oh, the trade right back. And that's the hero rifle gone.
That's probably a worthwhile 1-for-1 as far as KRX are concerned if they can keep that upgraded weapon out of the hands of onside.
And it's back to middle for KRX too. Not the position that's worked out the best for them, but
has the gun.
Okay, retrieved, and KRX thinking to push back over on the B side. They just don't have much information about
Onside gaming.
players outside of A. The trip, of course, will provide them what they need. So it all comes down to like
go past
how
the trip.
well Wolverine might, and that's a big might, be able to hold all the way from the back of Boba.
Yeah, with only 13 HP, I don't really have a whole lot of hope, but again, I think maybe Cloudy could have a potential impact in this round with that Hunter's Fury if things go well. Trip will be cleared by the shock dart.
30 seconds left.
So that's not going to help the cause necessarily for onside on this defense. Cloudy's picked up immediately, so we won't get that ulti coming out from
tag
him.
with the
Really
recon.
just on Wolverine, who,
Mako
like I said, not much of a chance
getting
for
some
him.
kills.
So now,
Young.
attempted recovery going poorly. Hermes alone. Just going to chance his hand here with the Sheriff. He's end up swapping back out for the Vandal, and his position noted by KRX. They're happy to give him some space. They know that he's not going to be able to win this round, so 3 up, and KRX once again, you know, quietly putting together a pretty okay half so far. Flash out, Paranoia out, and that'll be that. So I think we all knew which way that one was going. 3-2. KRX, like I said, you know, they're working hard for this map at the moment, but they are getting some pretty decent rounds on the board now, so have to give them some credit.
Wolverine without a kill.
Sure. Definitely not holding
5 rounds.
at the end of that round at least. Oh boy. And I kind of thought Wolverine maybe had the shot as well with the Outlaw, or I mean Siesta, but just all these like little whiffs. Scoreline's still close, but you know, onside needs to get going now. Haven's still a pretty good chance for them, but you know, you lose this one, you go down to the next, and then you're thinking of playing against either RRQ or Sharper, and those teams have been looking pretty damn good as well. So really wanting to make this one count. It's Hermes all the way to the back end with an op. Close range though.
Ooh, gets out. That doesn't happen to me in my ranked games.
Onside. Cloudy is hiding inside of this smoke
Bro
at the moment.
peeked against 3 and got out.
Remember that KRX looked pretty dangerous in these post plants. Just need to get that plant down for a start.
Mako waiting for a smoke to come back up, perhaps.
Yeah, might have to still be a really safe plant from him, though.
It has it now, considering maybe a TP2, they're not seeing anything else.
It's an option. It is an option. I mean, they are waiting.
Hermes has ult.
Just don't
very
have
patiently.
enough info on the other side, so I think it's just going to have to come down to this one. Bane with the Hunter's Fury to try to hold as best as possible, but here comes onside.
Oh, dimensional drift coming through. Hermes is looking for it. Yeah, and there's just no way you can plant there as Marco. He's isolated out on the site alone.
5v3.
Now the re-aggression coming through from
Got
Yon.
the
He knows
op.
he has to make a play. He does
Can
get across, he
plant.
does find that kill, and he will find that plant as well. But you still need more to go right
Can
here
they?
for KRX, and there's
Ooh,
just
almost
not
got it.
enough of it going in their favor. Young
No way, Young.
standing and delivering at the back of the site, trying his best to
Yo,
isolate
no way,
these
Young.
duels, and he might
Yo.
just do it. Runs out of bullets. Now
No
with the
way.
classic,
No way.
it is just
No
one click.
way.
Oh my God, Young! What was that?
Young looking like prime meteor out
Motivational
there.
musical chairs. He's been off the roster, on the roster, off, and now he's back, and he wants to keep his spot. Unbelievable. Just played peekaboo around the back of this spot.
Yeah, I have to see this from his POV, surely. I mean, it's one of the most awkward spots to be in.
Bro,
but
it's just so
the benefit
fast.
is he knew where both of his opponents were, and he was just able to isolate the duels one by one. And yeah, I mean, almost got done by having to whip out the sidearm, but gets it done in the end. That's a huge clutch for KRX. Puts them up 4-2, and it also kind of breaks the money again here for onside. They're back down to another hero rifle round, so Yeah, this could start to get awkward really quickly for onside if KRX build this momentum.
And they really just might be able to do it right here. Economy broken for onside. And again, like you can see some of the reservations in how some of the onside players are looking to take duels or firefights. It's far back, whereas Young's just peeking without a care in the world. Now back over onto A site.
Young. No success initially. HYUNMIN going to try and pick the pace up here alongside Freeing, who chooses the incorrect direction to go in. Flash through is enough to dislodge Ray.
Young.
Young was getting a bit of work done in middle, though will eventually get brought down again.
You know,
It's the A side that's going to be opened up.
not ready for Hermes. It takes the time, yeah.
Ray's going to have to plan safe.
30 seconds left.
Just trying to pick up the pace against KRX.
Yeah, onside going to go ahead.
They're flooding,
of the plan.
they're flooding.
Hermes causing that issue. He's found two. And now
Hermes.
onside will do one better as they steal a round away from KRX. I think it's fair to say that was just a single rifle in that round for onside. KRX fumbling that, and so the lead will not blow out as the KRX would have liked it to have.
Yeah, rifle that didn't even find that much impact either. I mean, just the trades all towards middle, but they just swing so quick as soon as they kind of cement that info in their heads that it's going to end up towards the A site. Onside just go and swing for the fences, managing to take down Young, and look at how they're just relentless with how they're swarming the entire site. There was just no chance for Bane or Mako or anyone to find any kind of a trade, and that's kind of the pace at which onside needs to operate on. So would love to see a lot more of that, but okay, back over on B main.
Fiesta? Might have been a quiet map, even though they're
There's a lot on the other side of it, and onside do actually manage to clean out one.
starting to switch the momentum.
And at least now you know there's nothing much else towards A, so just able to hold B with more ease of mind, considering the operator in Hermes' hand as well, so they don't really have to worry about A too much. All comes down to these three on the B site.
Okay, crash forward here. Could be a little bit interesting for HYUNMIN if he would have opted to go for it there, but
3 in backside.
be the case. It's just going
Wanna
to be free
mark
to
it.
try and contact his way out onto the site. Wolverine watching, and here comes the swing. Free went
And they
straight
just
into
mow him
that
down.
headshot. I don't even think that Wolverine was necessarily looking for him. It's just a poor turn of events there for KRX, who should be seeing this 4-4 equalizer come up in just a second. There's been a good recovery from onside. See what HYUNMIN can do to make it a bit more expensive, but a very tough prospect trying to work his way out of B main here.
He's got no util as well. If they swing him,
He's gonna get one.
don't even need it. Oh, Hermes up behind.
Yeah, they don't need to take the risk.
15 seconds.
And
HYUNMIN wins this.
oh,
He's
that
officially the
should be
GOAT.
rifle. Or not.
Okay, he's not the GOAT yet.
Well rewarded. 4-4.
I don't care if there
So
are
just
5 of
slowly
them or
starting to
50.
tie things up, starting to find a bit more stability throughout the second map onside. I mean, for KRX in this round, it was just really not having done enough work across the map. So
You know what
onside were
ONG
always
stands
prepared
for?
the hit. And even
On
with the fast
God.
shot, you know, it's a little attempt just trying to use the gate
On
crash to
God.
displace some crosshair placement, force your opponents to think about the back. It's still not enough, right? Fast lane out from freeing, but it, you know, it's just, who was it? Like Wolverine marking the angle, waiting for someone to pop through. He just instantly shuts him down as they try to pass. So, a wise
Timeout.
tactical
Hermes with the
timeout from Coach Termy. We'll see what that provides.
Eagle round for
because it's
KRX.
like the mid duels, not the greatest sometimes, and they're now more afraid and more aware of an operator at play. You know, you kind of need to see, you know, just like a full buy, maybe Bane or someone to try to flush Hermes away and then work into advanced positioning off of that. Or at least just to play around the map a little bit more. Onside definitely, you know, despite not having played this officially in like the past year or so, definitely have done quite a bit of prep, even standing tall towards a mirror matchup now.
Yeah, not much to work with in this round for KRX in terms of the money, but they have managed to put together a Vandal, a Stinger, got the overdrive there for freeing as well. They're gonna give this a crack.
Okay.
So
Smokes and everything towards a main. Are they maybe considering to push up on towards mid?
so an odd buy,
It's been a
two
position where there's always at least one
sheriffs,
from
one
onside to
pistol,
kind of
a
keep
stinger,
that
and
in
a
check.
vandal
And in this
with full
case now
shields.
would be Cloudy.
Ring has
What
ult,
you really want is to try
Young
to get
has
freeing
ult,
into
Maka
a
has
sort
ult.
of up close and personal fight. So how do you do that? Is the question here that
I think they're
KRX
trying to
gonna
fund the
answer.
op.
Obviously got the trade potential of HYUNMIN as well with that rifle in hand, but I think where this actually falls apart for onside is
Attempting to
if
B
Freeing
split.
gets
They're gonna break
the fight that he
door.
wants. Gonna look for it in through middle. So gonna wrap around in towards the B side here as well. So
No,
this is
no
a
punish.
huge B split.
Young with a big
from
kill in B
downtown, by the
main.
way, with the sheriff. I mean, that can happen as well.
Trade.
Wolverine lucky to be alive. Will
Good
eventually be
trade.
traded back out by Bane, and in the
And
end, yeah,
KRX
this is going
got
to
the
fall
round.
apart. It wasn't the way that I thought it would.
KRX
It's
got
just
the
off some
round.
good shooting coming through from KRX, and that split somehow overwhelming the B side. They got
Bro, the
so
kill
much
on the
space
Neon
in
would have
through
been
middle.
so
A
big.
three-way split. It was
But with
too
an
much for
op
onside to handle.
in a 2v4,
Yeah, right. Oh, okay.
it's just too hard.
And now marking on to Cloudy as well. Hermes probably want
I
to hold on
mean,
to this op
Young
for
with the
dear life.
big kill.
Meanwhile, KRX just holding all the way back to watch the spike. I mean, you called it, you know. Getting up close, it's the overdrive popped. Suddenly everything gets thrown into chaos because they're trying to watch out towards the back, but that's what affords Young, you know, a peek with the sheriff. The three-way split. It's a tough sight to hold, and KRX just cut through him. I can't believe that that's how this was done. I mean, if that was through the timeout, then hats off to Termi. If not, just the whole team to be able to put that one together. So still some, I don't know, like slight shaky nerves from onside. I think Wolverine was trying his best to try to hold on to the side, but still got overwhelmed with Bane coming in with that shot. And again, like Siesta is like one of those guys who are just trying to let go. Like he just wants to be unleashed. He goes in with that overdrive, but instantly gets shut down. That cannot feel good. It hasn't quite been the, you know, for all the little pre-show contents that we did with Morgan and Philly, it's still just, he's not him right now, bro.
Well, 5-4, so a responding round from KRX is going to give onside something to think about, and they're kind of wondering.
Timeout again.
Play-in's chances.
This time from
going up in
onside.
flames, but getting a lot harder, certainly.
Yeah, I can't. Oh my God, if it's onside versus like RQ, or maybe even Sharper, that's going to be tough. Sharper is a team that has been kind of dismantling or working against double duelist comps with their own like little, very controlled kind of style too. So it's definitely not a position that they would want to be in. I tell you what though, the scoreline right now, still relatively close. It's not all doom and gloom yet, but they need to really start to put things together. They have the economy, they have the funds. See if that amounts to much. This time Hermes pushing down middle, doesn't spot anything out, has a gate crash out. He's going down tiles.
Oh, it's not something that KRX have seen so far, but doesn't amount to anything in the end as he's spotted and forced to back out.
Okay. So KRX reconsidering that for the moment, but ultimately convening towards A.
Yeah, it looks like
Siesta
KRX are gonna hit A.
Flash and a swing. No, they don't see. Oh, the timing.
Siesta swung on a
Just
timing.
waiting patiently. Again, we saw them do that a little bit on Lotus, playing a little bit of a slower style. Giving time for, in this case,
KRX don't really have any info.
sets himself up in the corner in mid. Drone's going forward. Ray's gonna spot it out, deal with it. KRX aware there's at least a player that's holding forward. Paranoia doesn't quite manage to
What a blind.
land onto Ray, and his own
Stop
again
the
slowing
rush.
KRX down. I think this will still be a pivot back in through mid. That's why they've taken that mid control.
Yeah, Young called the rotate. And they
Another
just fed
attempt
into
at a
the
B split,
op.
but this time it starts much better for onside. Hermes landing that opening
Oh,
connection.
Young,
What a shot from
Young.
Young, and he doubles it down.
Gets the
Young
third.
is unleashed right now on Sunset,
Oh,
looking for the
yes,
third.
sir.
Will be brought down to heel by Siesta. but that's still not enough to hold on to this round just yet for onside. B-side cracked open, Spike needs to cross, Wolverine says no, and onside just take that round. That was getting chaotic.
Definitely was. Maybe a
What
bit
is
of
going on?
misinformation, not being able to call an audible, but freeing allowed for Wolverine to jump on the ledge.
Young, I thought the round was
still
over as soon
popping
as I
off,
saw
but
Young
for all his
popping off.
efforts, like this comes down to this one position where Freeing was right underneath the whole time. Kind of unfortunate, but that's what the Cyber Cage can do sometimes. So still close, and the little change still pays off, and now with that, trying to commandeer things still. They were pushing all the way down tiles. They're swapping pace. It's KRX now who are trying to set themselves off into B side, but slowed down by the smoke.
Hermes, no connection this time around, but this time again, Wolverine from a similar position
Wolverine
has gone one better. KRX will not find their entry into the site, not cleanly at least. HYUNMIN is the sole survivor at the end of the melee.
Time to jump.
He has 3 to deal with. Spike as well to be retrieved. He's just going to have to try to throw caution to the wind, but Wolverine puts him down. It is 6-5 onside for the first time
Last round
in this series. Feel like maybe they're starting to get on top of KRX.
Truly could be it. Perhaps a 7-5. Not sure what the economy is going to be. Probably not too good for KRX on the next at Wolverine. More of the collected presence. Yeah, it's all light shields, and okay, Hermes still sticking on to the operator for now. But it's always been this mid-crunch that they've been trying to work off of now. They're doing it again. KRX wants to get an advanced position on towards B.
Slow and steady for the moment for KRX, but they're going to eventually pull that trigger as the dimensional drift does start to run out. Yong, once again, just lurking around in middle, but this time not having any success. You've got Hermes running around on the site as well, trying to figure out what's going on here with regard to KRX.
Retake.
Well situated here for a retake.
Cloud with the knock.
Big crossfire
Cloudy.
here, though, for Freeing and HYUNMIN, and those are 2 players that are
He only
going
has a
to
shot.
give them the chance. So onside. Need to make this one clean. Smokes up to try to delay a little bit longer. Marco spamming through it, will grab himself one, and HYUNMIN fighting as well.
Spam back.
KRX looking good for the hold this time around, and Freeing completely ignored behind this smoke. Still not even required. That is a clean round from KRX to finish off the half at 6-6. And I don't know how either team is necessarily going to be feeling about that going into the second half. I mean, doors open for both sides right now.
It really is, and that's the thing, Jordan. Again, I mean, both teams walking into this one a little bit blind because they don't know what either side is going to be coming in with. KRX just so intelligent. Compositional swap up onto this round as well in terms of macro. They just sacked middle, sacked A, went straight for B main,
people to
knowing
be
that their
chatting
opponents
at the same
might start
time.
again with that mid-crunch, and it pays off so well. Crossfire setups and everything in that post-plant just makes it that much more difficult for onside to try to walk their way out of Boba and onto the spike. So not too bad. We do see some strong holds coming out from onside. Wolverine, namely, with those 2 big multi-kill rounds. But you're gonna need a hell lot more than that just to be able to close out this map, buddy. I mean, it's not too bad. Defense with a 6-6. Okay, it's not a 6-7, ladies. Calm down. But still.
It will be at one point.
With the pistol. Dear God, we're at that point again. We are definitely sussy. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, it still goes down to that pistol, and it feels very close, but it's always going to be, I imagine, onside feeling a bit more pressure because they are down by a map at the end of the day.
All right, 6-6. You know what the score's going to be next?
Come on. Please.
7-6. Well, if onside win. If onside win, it will be 7-6.
Let's go onside. I'm rooting for you now. All 5 on the attack. We want to see Siesta let it rip. Just breaking the recon for the time being, and Smokes to hold off mid as well. Just not wanting to let either team have any open lane.
Flash. Go on the stairs. It could go, and it could go off of a weird angle.
They're actually maybe just leaving the
Cam
entire
spotted
A side
3.
open.
Siesta making his way into the A site and feeling pretty good about it. Down to 64 HP, but he's got that space as required, and so the plant relatively easy for onside here.
Yeah, just playing forward enough to force onside to spend some utility. Oh, they're going for forward.
They try and fight their way forward. HYUNMIN, as always,
refight.
sharp with it.
Flash double peek.
So that's advantage KRX for the moment. Cloudy can't do much more than just the one. Siesta's on the line as well.
Nice.
And this is starting to fall apart. It's just Ray left alive. Free him.
It's a
Didn't spot him.
1v4 or
Inside that dark
1v3.
cover, that spike is ticking away pretty nicely. Yong's going to try and force out a tap. And can Ray do what Yong did earlier? Down to 20 HP.
And
The
he
answer will
cannot.
be no. And what's the scoreline now, Quack?
6-7. Das is cool.
Das is cool.
Okay, well, shenanigans aside, it still is just incredibly intelligent from KRX. They stick around far enough to force onside to spend utility to get into sight, to fight for some of these spaces, set the smokes up, and as onside start to swing out towards the back of CT, like, KRX recognize that. They are holding on to their own utility to take advantageous duels. HYUNMIN with the flash, the blind side. It makes it tough for onside to hold a lot of the spaces that they're going for. So the fight ultimately ends up in the hands of KRX, who now have economy as well. So with the best scoreline ever in the world, now KRX looks to run away with it. Space being taken, this is now a lot of information as well. Mako being pressured, but he just sprays down.
Yeah, well, it could have been awkward for a second if he hadn't got himself at least the one. Freeing, having some difficulties, will just drop his relay bolt to try and slow things down, and that's enough to bring Bane into play. Again, though, 1-for-1,
Freeing
and now
can't
Wolverine getting the
die.
better of Freeing. The rotate hasn't
Freeing
quite come
can't
through just
die.
yet for KRX. This might still be doable for onside. Wolverine,
You
though,
know, the
caught on the
timing.
reload, the weapon swap. I'm not sure what that was, but that leaves Ray alone, and he's
No
trying to
way.
isolate the duels once again. Yong on the other side of this.
No
Oh, not
way.
like this. What is with this position today?
It's just such a good way to hold around the smokes, man. I mean, Wolverine in the first half, you know, slightly different, but just playing around it, he's able to duck in and out. This one, though, in a post plant, just to mark the smoke, because you know your opponent is going to try to either position around it or push into it. And if you find the right swing, it's just so chaotic with how this entire round played out. I mean, the sprays that Freeing was trying to hold off of just ultimately gets overrun by Wolverine being able to pick up a Spectre, and now the economy gets completely flipped. Onside, looking to hit the weaker site.
Well, Young's here to answer with a few right clicks. And he does
Yo, the
some
movement.
damage to Siesta, but was never really going to get more than maybe just the one kill there. Will be the B side taken for onside, and once again, can look to try and start dictating this game a little bit.
This is so cool. Siesta's just creating so much space for his team. It's impacting them not in terms of kills. And now he's holding the crossfire. The whole team with outlaws. They're looking to build up out points. KRX with flashes, though. Always got to watch out for those.
Yo, Ray, what?
Ray 4. We'll take it Ray 4 in this case. Ray 4K. An easy 4K for him. And onside up to 8.
I can't believe Ray's just done that. Inside of the smoke. I mean, I thought maybe like HYUNMIN with a flash would have gone through. But he gets one like right at the end of the magazine as well.
Well, KRX, bit of an uphill battle now it would seem in this second half as onside finding some of that momentum, but we're thinking about how they want to put this round together, so it's time for us to have a quick listen in and see what KRX are thinking.
So, Mako? Young, timing. Just sees one. 3 on site. 2 coming through market. Oh, the walk timing. Spots the last. What good play. I mean, KRX win that round simply just by walking and not giving up any noise.
You have HYUNMIN with an op as well, but ultimately it's just down to how much Mako was able to do in freeing, especially with those 2 kills at the end as well. Instantly marking the positions. It's a little bit, spaced out by onside as well. So kind of unfortunate for them with how much they wanted to go in for that set play, but nice to see KRX being able to withstand that kind of a hold. So going to be able to put more rounds together from then on. They have the buys now.
That goes there.
Start off.
Hey, we gone back and forth.
Onside. Gonna try to slow down the pace a bit further because it's much needed, or just to pick it up now that they have positioning on towards B.
And KRX play retake. They're here fast. I mean, except for Mako.
Pretty easy entry in for onside. Now it's just a question of how are they going to hold on to
So
it.
Mako just used his ult. Spotted 2 backside.
Information to try and maybe set freeing up.
Gonna take a timing into the neon wall. Oh,
HYUNMIN doesn't get out of dimensional
bro,
drift
they're
alive,
so
but still the
fast.
retake working in the favor of
They're so
KRX now.
fast.
Slowly but surely they're finding the
Bro, they
entries they
swing
need.
instant death.
Ray and Wolverine not yet peeking.
You wanna know why?
Drone is going to find one.
Because they're shooting, they're playing with vandals.
Change up his position, and time starting to become a
2v2.
bit of a factor here for KRX. They have to
Did you
move
hear
a
the
little
jump?
quicker than this, and they're aware that Wolverine is inside that smoke somewhere, but the defuse.
Yo,
Oh no,
Mako
the
just
perfectly
runs it
timed
down.
swing from Mako.
Mako just runs
You've
it
got your
down.
hat in your hand when you need a gun instead. And KRX will win the round.
Always painful. But looking at the score now, I mean, just KRX being able to take back that lead. I can't believe this is what we're witnessing, Jordan. I honestly expected a little bit more from onside, but looking at how carefree some of the executes have been on their attacking side, it feels like the pistol round all over again. They find a bit of forward space, they run away with it, they spend some utility getting in this side, but KRX just holds on to theirs for the retake. They go in coordinated, very clean, taking multiple angles on towards players who are holding more common positions on sites. So back to the drawing board for onside. Unfortunately, at this juncture, 8 and 9, especially with broken economy again as well. It's HYUNMIN with an op.
Bro, what is that flash?
For HYUNMIN.
What is that
Sting a big op,
flash?
and that is not the kind of fight that you want. Hermes getting the opener here onto the A side.
Hermes just got an op.
Pressure back onto KRX, freeing here.
Blind
To do
misses.
some damage, but everybody
Oh
dying.
my god, Freeing just
But it
saved that
doesn't matter.
round.
Freeing doesn't care. He finds himself the double, looking for a big swing.
Unless,
Doesn't work
until
out.
he doesn't.
Bane, though, in a position that he could actually still do something from this, and gets that headshot through onto Hermes. Oh, Ray. That was a bold, bold reposition.
Can wait out the smoke. Has a recon too. Whoa. What?
Okay, hunting for a bit more information.
Bro,
Ray
just
knows.
what is Ray
Out
on?
in the open here, Bane,
And
swing
Bane
comes
is ready
through,
for
and he
it.
answers that call perfectly. Another clutch will go the way of KRX. They're up to 10 now, and they are homing in on victory.
Oh my goodness. 1v2, Bane puts it together. I mean, that's a Rebel clutch for you right there, but also just bold with the TP. You know, it's a bit of information perhaps, but very risky if Bane just rushes straight in against him. Even if not, gets revealed by the recon at the end. Perhaps a little bit unfortunate for Ray, but he just felt like he had to, you know, take things into his own hands there. Nonetheless, it's another one of these big rounds KRX puts together off of a retake. And it might just continue to compound up as well. Look at HYUNMIN, who's clearing out, holding such a deep info line in towards B. Freeing and Mako with their own escape plans as well. It's pretty telling.
Mako gonna pick up a
timing.
smoke. He spots all the info and This is going to be
Freeing
one
is
for Freeing, and
by
happy to take the
himself
second there
until he
onto Wolverine.
isn't.
Freeing having such a big impact in the last couple of rounds. Doing so again here. Setting KRX up for a very solid retake. They'll be happy to allow Onside to get the plant here. But after that, that's where things are going to start to get a bit awkward for Onside. You do have the Hunter's Fury coming through, looking for a little bit of info. Siesta does just get out of dodge.
And it confirms at least that Onside are still somewhere on site.
Not for long, it would seem, but you've got Yong watching this line. So if that heat comes through, he's going to be good for one at the very least. Now a flash around the corner. And Onside are turned away again.
That's like pick your poison, you know, you stay on site,
has
you
ult.
have to play against the retake.
Ring if he dies.
And he's going to spot them as they try to exit
Okay,
A. It just
round
seems like
over.
there is no way out of this site for Onside, and that will indeed be the case.
HYUNMIN.
11 to 8.
HYUNMIN.
KRX one step closer.
Yeah, feels like for everything Coach Hype said in the little interview that we had with Jen as well, we need a timeout. This has been pretty rough in this second half. A lot of post plants tossed aside because KRX just has all the util in the world, and not to mention the reads and somehow and how some of these rounds are going to be hit. So in that one, just like full on into A site. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit tough for Mako, but he had that information because of the ledge that he was playing off of, and then Freeing, of course, as well. Like just pops off with one kill, has foresight because he knows there's another player close by. He's ready to take that fight against Wolverine, mid-slide, as Neons tend to do. This has been just, it's starting to become an insurmountable gap now for KRX. I mean, for Onside to try to work against. What's the buy gonna be? A judge for Hermes? I don't know, like, feels a little bit desperate.
And you got to try something, right? Backs against the wall now, Onside. Heard a lot of good things. Seen a lot of good things. I mean, maybe not quite hitting the mark here on the stage at the moment, but there's not that many opportunities when you come into the play-ins. I mean, this is a harsh format for these Challengers teams. You come in, you potentially play 2 games, and that's it.
Really
And
is.
your whole year really has been kind of hinging on this, so you have to deliver on the day, and that's where the pressure, I think, can potentially get to you. And Onside right now, got to make sure that that doesn't end up being
They
the
crouch on
case.
top
Siesta,
mid.
the opening kill here on Debane. There might still be something to be said in
HYUNMIN's
this
still
round
alive.
for Onside, although they have now lost Siesta, which is going to be quite a bit of
Classic
pushing power.
tier 2
May
round.
not necessarily needed, though, as that B side is open to them.
Portal closed.
Hermes in smoke with the judge.
Spike planted.
Once again, though, KRX have been pretty good on the retakes, and now they've got the added information coming through from Yong's Neural Theft that should help them out. Freeing delivers another.
4v3.
Wolverine to try to maybe
Freeing
have a
closes
bit
the
of a
round.
peek in here, see if he can bite the bullet and take the fight to KRX. No success from him so far against that one, but needs more than that, and does get brought down by his counterpart Yong. It is a 1v2, and there's nowhere for Hermes to go. He was stuck
He said,
in
"What
the
are you
trip, and
doing?
KRX are up to 12. They're on
doing?"
series point.
And it just keeps getting further and further away from Onside. I mean, look at that. It's another sort of retake scenario, but this time with Siesta trying to open things up. He does pretty damn well with all that quick movement. It's flashy, it's fast, but then you've got HYUNMIN just in position because of the gate crashes. And then you look at it on the site. We didn't get into the replay, but Freeing getting the kill against Ray was quite impactful because it just opens up another angle. If not for Ray, Market could have been held.
One more round.
So
One
with that
more
getting taken
round.
away, I mean, Wolverine was just stuck in a rough spot. And here we go again. Last-ditch effort. And they are throwing a Hail Mary into A site.
Trying to go fast.
Yes, this
Trying
is
to
the
go quickly into
round.
HYUNMIN might not be
This
the
is
right
the
idea. There's
round.
just not enough supporting util there for Siesta. He's an easy pick-off. Wolverine does get one onto Marco off of the spot,
Young.
but
Trade.
Yong has another, so still a numbers deficit here for Onside, and they haven't even really taken any space. They're going to try and get themselves back across
They
middle
just
with that
spotted them
spike quickly, but
rotating.
it's been spotted out, and I don't even think Cloudy knows
just spotted
that he's
them
been spotted out,
rotating.
so he's just going to hightail it into this site, and he might get caught on the timing on that plant. here by Yong, who will be happy to just walk his way out.
Yep.
He knows exactly where this plan is going down.
And it's the
picks himself up
easiest,
another
the
freebie.
freest. The freest.
3v2 as Ray does at least find the trade. Spikes down. Interesting position here from Hermes. Might be a difference maker. I wonder if he's been heard, though. I think he has. Seems like Bane is watching
Bane
for
heard
it, waiting
him.
for it, and he was indeed. So now it's all on the shoulders of Ray, who was
Yeah,
the standout
man.
on map 1.
Yeah, man.
But what can he really conjure here? I mean, he's going to be scanned. His information's going to be given away, and there is nothing for him to do. That will be the 13th round for KRX, and for Onside, a disappointing result in their first outing on the Pacific stage. But maybe this can be the catalyst for something of a recovery for KRX this season.
It's been up and down for KRX, that is true. Had to swap in between players, Flicker, now Yong, and it just works out. The leaderboard on this second map of Sunset. But all that said as well, it wasn't as though, you know, Onside got completely walked over. They did make it relatively close. A bit of friendliness with Hermes and the hugs against his former team as well, but yeah, you just would have liked to see a little bit more. I mean, you still see that flashiness come through from players like Siesta, but at the end of the day, it's KRX.
Yes.
Their tacticality, the multiple defensive
HYUNMIN
players that they
says
had, all down
KRX.
to
New
the
headline.
retakes, the way they
New headline.
defended Lotus too. They definitely won on the map veto today, I can tell you that.
Yeah, certainly looking like a better look from KRX today. I mean, whether or not that will continue going forward, I guess we have to wait and see. And then you obviously have to ask some questions about Onside. Were they up to the level that they were sort of spoken about? You know, they I think had a lot of support, not only from the desk, but just from the word that we've been hearing on the street.
One thing I want to know
You
about
hear
this
about
while
scrims
we're
and this and
here
that, and how
is
they're
that
a pretty
in the video I'm releasing
decent
tomorrow, I
Champions
talk
team.
about how
Was that the
I
level that they
predicted
expected to
KRX
hit?
to
Was
win
that the
this
level they
game,
were
but
expected
for
to?
Onside, they have a favorable
I'll
lower
leave that to
bracket
some greater
matchup.
minds than mine, but gonna have to come back with something a little better in that lower bracket, I'm sure.
Which
For now, though, it
means,
is time for us
basically,
to head
is
on
what
down
I'm trying to
the
say,
stage
is
once
that
again. Jen, ready
even
for
though they
an
lose this game, the teams they eventually will face,
KRX의 프링 선수가 나오겠습니다. 승리 축하드립니다.
the teams they eventually will face
Here at KRX is freeing after
aren't
KRX's
as strong
2-0 win in
as,
the
you know,
playoffs.
like a
Congratulations,
T1,
Freeing. How
based
happy
on
are
my
you to
predictions.
start this
And so
play-in
while
streak
yes,
with
Onside
a 2-0
Gaming
win, especially
lose
with
this
Young,
game, but I feel
back
like they
in the
have
roster.
potential to be able to make
승리
it out.
너무너무 축하드리고요. 2대0 승리로 이제 플레이인 스테이지를 시작하게 됐습니다. 용 선수의 합류까지
I'll be
더해지면서
back.
확실히 또 팀이 활기를 찾은 것 같은데 승리 소감부터 들어보고 싶네요.
일단 저희가 4연패를 한 다음 이제 첫 승이기도 하고 일단 이겨서 너무 기분 좋고 플레이인에서 아직 기회가 있으니까 더 열심히 하자는 마인드로 했더니 좀 이기지 않았나라고 생각합니다.
Well, we lost 4 in a row before winning this one, so we thought maybe we still have a chance to make it through the play-ins and make it further in stage 2, so we didn't really give up. I think with that mindset, we were able to take this win, so I'm definitely really happy about today's results. Now, let's talk about you on that chamber on the Lotus. Termi told me that you're the KRX's best chamber player. Would you agree? And talk to us about this change into the double sentinels comp. 그리고 터미 감독님이 로터스 그 투감시자 조합에 대해서 프링이 KRX에서는 체인버를 가장 잘했다 이렇게 얘기를 해주셨거든요. 좀 인정하시는지 그리고 이 투감시자 준비에 대한 과정도 들어보고 싶네요.
일단은 제가 다른 게임에서 이제 스나 오퍼레이터를 좀 많이 썼어가지고 그래도 그나마 약간 그 오퍼레이터 짬이 있어가지고 그나마 좀 잘했던 것 같고 그리고 저희가 투감시한 이유는 그래도 안전성이 좀 필요하다고 느꼈어가지고 선택한 거 될 것 같습니다.
그러면 이제 KRX에서의 오퍼도 좀 프링 선수가 더 많이 담당하게 되는 걸까요?
사실 많이 안 들었을 뿐 네온 할 때도 들 수 있을 때마다 들었던 것 같고 아마 그렇게 되지 않을까.
알겠습니다. Yeah, when I was playing another game, I was actually playing a lot of sniper rifles. So I'm pretty used to using the operator. So using the chamber, you know, it was only very natural for me. And we decided to pivot to the double sentinels comp because it provided a lot more stability for us. And even when I was playing the Neon, I would pick up the op whenever I could and try to get a pick or two. So I think me opting for KRX, it's a good choice and it's very natural for me. Now, you guys have been fixing what wasn't working, and I would like to ask you about the IGLing situation. What is the decision when it comes to the collective calling for you guys? 그리고 이제 스테이지 2 들어서 시도했던 변화들 중에 좀 수정이 필요한 부분은 고쳐 나가고 있잖아요. 그 중에서 좀 여쭤보고 싶은 게 IGLing은 혹시 어떻게 하기로 됐을까요?
현재는 지금 마코가 IG를 하고 있고 절대로 베인이 오더를 못해서 바꾼 게 아니고 명관이가 오더하고 베인 선수가 이렇게 서브 콜링을 하는 게 훨씬 더 저희 팀이 좀 조화스러운 것 같아서 그렇게 바뀌게 된 것 같습니다.
Well, Mako is currently IGLing for our team right now, and this isn't because Bane was less than Mako when it comes to making those calls. It was working for us better when Mako was calling those calls, and Bane's still giving us a lot of calls by being that secondary caller as well. Now, you also played against your former teammate Hermes, and on-site gaming. You know, Hermes talked about how you guys scrimmed them a lot. Do you want to send them a message? You know, words of encouragement. 일단 그리고 예전 동료였던 헤르메스 선수를 상대로 만나기도 했었고 또 워낙 온사이드 게이밍이랑도 굉장히 많이 스크림을 했다고 들었습니다. 그래도 이제 남은 경기 플레이인 잘 치르라고 좀 한마디 해주시겠어요?
절대 못한다고 생각한 적 없고요.
네.
충분히 총도 잘 쏘고 전략도 좋다고 생각을 해서 충분히 이길 수 있을 거라 생각합니다.
알겠습니다. Well, I think they're a really strong team. They have really good aim, great talent, great strats. So I think they have a very, very good chance when it comes to making through those play-ins. Well, thank you so much. That was very wholesome, freeing. And I'm going to let you go and be free. Congratulations once again. 네, 이렇게 해서 KRX의 프링 선수 만나봤습니다. 승리 다시 한번 축하드립니다.
The dry spell has come to an end. KRX able to take away a victory over Onside Gaming here today, doing what Gentlemates could not, beating a Tier 2 team. Congratulations to KRX being able to find the victory here. I don't want to kick them while they're down, but this is, I think, overall a very good sign for KRX. It seemed like Onside came into this feeling a bit nervous getting onto the big stage for the first time, but one of the things that we're seeing from KRX in this series was just much cleaner team play.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think they had great game plans. We saw them switch up the comp, as they often do, which takes away some of that prep advantage that the Challengers teams will have. They get to watch the whole group stage. They get plenty of time to prepare, but that's why I actually think KRX, full sense, like some of these teams that are a little bit more flexible, flipping their comps and changing things week to week, are a little bit harder for the Challengers teams to play, and I think as a result, Onside trying to be a little bit tricky with this Sunset pick. It's something that they haven't shown before. KRX just flipped their comp and kind of destroyed them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it's great for KRX that it ended up in a mirror as well on Sunset. That sort of surprising edge taken away from Onside, and I felt like KRX's macro, this was probably the best we've seen from them, and you just know how good this team can be when they pick up steam. So let's see how far they can really take it in the play-in, maybe even all the way through those playoffs.
I mean, all the way through those playoffs, maybe all the way to champs. We've been talking about it, KRX, DRX, whichever iteration, they've kind of always made their way over to that tournament. It's looming on the horizon. Can they make it? Has this convinced you in any particular direction, big time?
I mean, I feel like it's more possible. It's a long, long road. That's the only thing that if they keep playing like this, it's definitely on the horizon. I feel like this was a great game from Young as well. You know, if these players can be consistent across the board, all the way down that scoreboard, they do become very, very hard to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is the perfect step in the right direction for KRX after a little bit of a rough group stage. As mentioned before, they break that loss streak, and you wanted to see a clean 2-0 today if they're going to go on a little bit of a run in the play-ins.
Oh, they did. Well, I mean, you can see right there, Onside some decent advantages at times in the rounds there, but not quite able to capitalize on those first kills. And I think that a lot of that is just going to come down to experience. Also, some very nice clutching as well from KRX to be able to secure what ended up being a pretty comfortable win. 13-8 after a 6-6 half. It ended up just being pretty easy breezy for them. But We, of course, are joined by a special guest. It is none other than HYUNMIN, so thank you for coming up to the analyst desk here. And from the outset, we heard it there from Freeing. Mako, back over to calling. What was that conversation like within the team? Was that a tournament decision, or was that kind of a joint decision from the squad?
So when Mako wasn't like an official caller, he was still doing like most of the calling. So we were like, just why not let him just call? And then it was a simple decision. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it seemed to work very, very strongly.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, you know, last week you guys brought Young into the roster after having Flicker in. We hadn't seen Young for quite some time. Was it pretty much from the outset, even though you guys weren't able to find the win, that it was just decided like we're going to stay with Young for the next week's matches, or was that a little bit? Did you experiment in scrims?
Yeah. So his agent pool, we thought that with our comps we're doing right now, that Young fits much better. So I think that was only the key factor that made the change from Flicker to Young.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm curious a little bit about how the prep was for this series, because obviously Onside Gaming, they've been knowing that they were going to be in the play-ins for quite a long time, and you know they worked up a Sunset, but they didn't change anything on their Lotus. So do you feel like the coaching staff did well in getting you guys prepped today? Because it looked like you had a lot of answers there.
Yeah, so we do a little bit of analyzing with every team, but I would say that we played a lot of different comps, so we just figured out that our comp right now is best for theirs. So it was not that of a difficult like time during practice. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I wanted to ask what it was like to play a team like Onside, because Pacific is kind of a bit more of a sealed environment. This is the first time where we're kind of introducing some more teams into that system. Does that change the approach at all, and does it help playing like a Korean team that you at least should be somewhat familiar with playing in the same domestic scene?
Oh yeah, so when we scrimmed before, we played with them like a couple times, so we had an idea of like their playstyle and how they would play. And I think that was like the thing that helped us most today. Like we had like a general idea of what they were gonna do.
I mean, have you guys, you know, scrimmed the Sunset and kind of seen this composition? Because we were a little bit surprised to see it, you know, be a mirror matchup in the end.
Yeah, so we didn't scrim them like on the maps that we played today, but we played different maps, and we had like their playstyle was like the same on every map, so we just had a feeling that they would play the same on like every map also.
Okay. I mean, Freeing still, he seemed to be pretty positive. Termi as well, positive about, you know, Onside's chances still in this bracket, even though they're going to be sent to the lowers. How do you think that they can do? You know, how far do you think this team can push?
I feel like Onside played like a bit nervous today. They're a much better team in scrims, and they can do a lot. So I'm pretty like, I have high expectations for them.
Yeah. So what about you guys? Because I feel like that was one of the most well put together games we've seen from you guys in this stage. So how full to 100% would you say that was for you guys? Was that peak performance? Do you have more left in the tank? And if so, how far do you see this run going for you guys? Are you all confident about champs?
I wouldn't say it was our best performance, but it was one of the performances that we were used to. And so I think we're just getting slowly like again better and better again.
And Young played great today. I mean, we kind of already saw the performance and we talked about it a little bit, but he had a rough one in the T1 game. What was different series to series? Did the coaching staff help him kind of bed things in a little bit more, or what helped him recover so well in this series?
So during T1's match, I believe he played Chamber, but that's like a big role to take on the team. So we just put him on like a role that he's more comfortable on, and he can play much, I guess, without
pressure.
More pressure. So I think that helped him a lot today.
Okay, excellent. Well, you know, a win in the bag, first step here during the play, and keeping yourselves in the upper bracket. You know, it's going to be a long road, but if you can make it the champions, Tony Pixel's going to be there again, and I'm sure he'd be very excited to see you. Any words to him, as well as the fans that want to see you make it to Shanghai?
Yeah, I'll try to qualify so I can beat him in the
All right. Well, thank you so much, HYUNMIN. We'll see if Yum can return to the champion stage as we keep our eyes on KRX in the future matches. But thank you so much for joining us up here. And let's go ahead and sing some praises for HYUNMIN's teammate, Young, the first outing back on the squad. Rough versus T1, but here he looked electric.
Yeah, 100%. I actually felt like when he was on the team before, some of his Cypher games were pretty decent. Like he could just kind of fill that, you know, primary Sentinel role without having to be a bit more of a chamber merchant. It just kind of played out that way. His biggest, most memorable games were on the chamber, on Lotus in particular, but I think we saw just how serviceable he can be just taking on that primary Sentinel role.
Yeah, I mean, his anchoring, I think, was really great today, especially on that B site. You feel like he was so hard to attack into. This is what was missing in this team is just that solidity. So if Young is able to keep consistent with his performances, I do think this KRX team can definitely do something here in the play-ins.
It's always about, you know, it's not about how you start, it's all about how you finish. And we have another team that had a really rough start to this stage coming up next, and that's going to be RRQ going up against Sharper, so one of our tie squads that is going to be looking to try to take them down. RRQ, that they have, similarly to KRX after this series, been on the up and up. They finally had things sorted out. Jemkin got his recovery through, and they've been looking very good across their last 2 series.
Yeah, totally agree. I think particularly their last game in the group stage was one to be proud of. They finished off that group stage really nicely, which I think helps their momentum as they head through into the play-ins. They're going to be playing some of these challengers teams. I mean, they got Sharper up first. I think it helps having Zan, someone who's played them quite intimately in the past, might help them kind of game plan a little bit, and I think they should be feeling very confident coming into this matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're totally right about them building momentum at the perfect time. I think when we look across this roster, you got to talk a little bit about Monyet. Since he's come back to this team in stage 2, I feel like he's just hitting new heights, or should I say old heights of 2023 Monyet. That's what it's feeling like. We're seeing the upswing of Jemkin once more, and this team is looking more and more like the team that can lift trophies here in Pacific.
Yeah, I mean, typically if you said that Monyet's looking like he was coached by Big Time, that seems like it would be an indictment, but he's been absolutely incredible as of late.
100%, yeah, honestly, Texture's been on the chamber. It turns out that Morgan was right about a few things. I haven't heard many of those recently though, but what I will say is that in that last matchup in particular, quite honestly, RRQ was very solid across the board against Nongshim. Everybody pitched in, everyone was very close to each other in terms of individual performance, and it makes RRQ look incredibly well-rounded right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jemkin as well coming alive. You know, with that Yoru coming back into the meta a little bit more. We saw it on Ascent a couple weeks ago, and we weren't sure about it, but he's going back to it, and I do feel like he's doing a great job. He's on the chamber in that one, doing fantastically as well. And then map 3 of Haven, they ran away with it in the first half.
Yes, in the first half is absolutely the big caveat of that one, because it really looked like they were going to let it slip like they had done on that second map of the series. But yes, I mean, they have to play close. They have to stack up. If it's not at least 23 rounds, then is it really an RRQ series? The answer is absolutely no. So they always certainly make it interesting. Maybe they're just trying to be the new PRX, just always make the fans, have a heart attack in the game. I don't really know. But if you don't really know about Sharper, we're going to go ahead and take a quick little zoom in with a nice informative video.
Some might say Sharper is the best team in Challengers SEA. Now that's still up for debate, but one thing that we can say for certain is that they have been the most consistent of the SEA teams in 2026. A top 2 in stage 1 and a win in stage 2 puts them head and shoulders above the rest. Now it's time for them to live up to their name as challengers and take that consistency and drive to a new stage. Their appearance in the VCT Pacific Stage 2 play-ins is no surprise for those of us that have followed this Thai team. In fact, it's an opportunity that they've been waiting for a long time. Their structured style that leaves room for individual expression has brought them to new heights. Led by PTC, perhaps Thailand's most experienced FPS player, and rounded out by Apinya, Kadum and Laz, who have already tested themselves against Tier 1 competition, they have the experience and the potential, but they just haven't had the opportunity to show it on the Pacific stage.
The opportunity is now. Plenty of familiar faces, of course, on this team, and some that fans watching might not be that familiar with, but they are looking to make their names known.
I mean, even you would be familiar with them doing SVL and things like that. Like, these are players that have performed well against Tier 1 opposition, and that's why, I mean, you see Lakia there saying hi to them. For those who don't know, Lakia played on a Thai Counter-Strike team at one point in time back in the day with 3 Thai players and 2 Koreans. That was a weird kind of alternate universe. Regardless, though, he said hi to them. Sharper, no strangers to playing against Tier 1 competition. PTC, very experienced. We've seen Sephiroth go across onto Full Sense, and now Niz has taken his place, but this is still a core that is extremely, extremely solid, and I want to see if they can transition that into Tier 1 yet again here.
Yeah, the Challengers SEA League is no joke as well. That is a stacked league, and Sharper came out on top, won that first seed all the way through here into play-in, so this is definitely a team to be a little bit scared of if you are here in Pacific, and we want to talk and highlight Apinya here. He plays a lot of that initiator, picked up the Sage as well, and I feel like like it says, he is the backbone of this team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's been interesting to see his transition over onto the Sage because there was so much Pearl played, and I felt like Sharper kind of adopted what Motive were doing a lot in Challenges SCA, picking up that Sage comp and taking a lot of those ideas. So Apinya, the thing that I really want to stress about this guy is his individual skill is fantastic, but he can play any agent. You literally throw him on an agent, you fit him into the game plan wherever, he's happy to kind of fill that space, and he's going to deliver above average fragging numbers, which brings up the floor of a team like Sharper that is already stacked with mechanical talent.
Yeah, I mean, Apinya has kind of been one of those ones just assisting from the front lines. He's not shy about just rushing forward to the rest of the team, throwing out that assisted utility, but then also fragging out of control, whether he's on that Sage or playing on the initiator role. But you mentioned one of the players who's going to be a little bit more familiar with them is going to be Zan.
Yeah, Zan has played these guys in challenges before over when he was on Motive. This is a squad he'll be very, very familiar with. He played a lot of Neon, played Smokes back then as well, so we'll see how well he can sort of get them downloaded, transfer that information to his team in order to find a way to counter this high aggression.
Yeah, I mean, you even see Zan there on the Sage. That's kind of what I was talking about. I felt like that Pearl comp that Sharper was running was somewhat inspired by that. So Zan, it's up to him to kind of recognize some of those tendencies. He's played Neon against his team in the past. Let's see how well they can transition that in here. Something we wanted to point out with this particular graphic, though, is the prep time that the Challengers teams having opposed to the teams that have just finished groups in Pacific.
Yeah, I mean, this to me is absolutely why they should be favorites.
I kind of want to see this game, but it's already
however many days ago
time for me to go to
and you see
sleep.
Sharper played, it was more than a month ago. It's ages. They've had so long to flip their map rule, flip their comps around, and get ready for this game.
Well, we'll see if
What
they
should I
can
do?
get
What
a
should I do?
solid start here as they go into the skirmish. Which, of course, is just going to be looking to go forward as the teams continue to kind of rely on the six-mans to do that.
Yeah, I think this is
And
like...
Cushy is looking good.
for Sharper, I think this is like their manager or something like that. This is not even...
Yeah, it's
throwing
kind of
anyone in the skirmish.
Kind of a crazy
He's got
choice.
one.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, this is the talent that we talk about when it comes to Thailand, you know. I'm pretty sure that you have to do an aim duel, like 1v1, or like some kind of aim challenge in the range before you can even apply to like the managerial positions in a Thai squad, as far as I understand it.
Taking the lead now.
Yeah, so far so good it seems.
He looks so locked in. This is the game of his lifetime. Let's see if he can get it done. Up 3-2. Makes it 4.
No
My
way.
goodness, sign this guy.
Yeah.
Cushy.
I mean, you might see him in the server here. See if Cushy can turn around things for RRQ as we head
Nah,
into
Cushy.
map veto, but there you go.
Nah,
Psychopath looked exactly
Cushy.
like one there. 5-2 over Cushy, and we'll get Sharper that advantage in the map veto here.
Hell of a name as well.
Yeah.
Love that. So let's see. Okay, Haven Sunset again. Going to be there for that map too, but floating the breeze for the closer here.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. RRQ going to Haven. It's something that Sharper have played a little bit on, but it's been quite some time. They've been up and down on that map, but they're well and truly familiar with. RRQ, I think they're just trusting the strength of their own map pool. This is the second Challengers team that will pick Sunset after not playing it in the regular season. And then Breeze as a third map decider is something that Sharper used to second ban a lot, and even banned in the grand final, having the 2-map advantage over 5-on-5 in Challengers SCA. So it's interesting that they've left it as a third map decider here.
It feels like overall quite a decent map pool here for RRQ, you know, provided that they can get the closeout. You know, they need to try to prevent those runbacks from coming through, much like Nongshim was able to achieve against them. But overall, these are obviously maps that RRQ are incredibly
By
familiar
the
with.
way,
and
if you guys are
played
watching
plenty
on
of here in
YouTube, make
Stage
sure to
2.
I totally agree.
subscribe.
I think this is a fine
Let's get
veto
to
for RRQ, and I think that
175.
shows that Sharper is somewhat confident they can win this series.
I think
I
I'm
don't
gonna watch a
they see
couple rounds
themselves
and
as
then
the
I'm gonna go to
underdog.
sleep.
I think they're going to be tricky with the veto here, but you need to be careful.
I just want to see at
RRQ
least the
was looking
bonus
very
round.
solid in just their last game, and their Haven defense in particular was phenomenal against Nongshim.
But that's the good news, is they played Haven so recently. So if you feel like they were going to pick it, there's no better map to have prepped than their Haven, because they won't have had time to really change too much. So I want to see a good, clean ante coming out from Sharper here.
Well, we are completely split as far as the desk is concerned. The fans leaning a little bit more heavily. We're going full ball as law on this one. 70-30 for RRQ's favor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to back RRQ based on how they finished the group stage. I think they're about to go on a run here, but I'm a big Sharper fan. I wouldn't be surprised if Sharper wins this series, to be honest.
Yeah, for me, it's prep time and momentum. They should have great answers coming into this series. They just need to execute it on that stage.
Yeah, I mean, this one should be close. It should be a banger unless Jemkin just goes full Terminator and checks him at the door. Anything goes here. We'll have to just wait and see what happens. But for now, it's time to welcome our second Tier 2 squad over to the stage. Our first of our two Thai teams as well, as Sharper goes up against RRQ.
today's matchup.
It is an SCA square up here as RRQ is ready to take to the stage against Sharper to see who is going to be sticking around in that upper bracket and who's going to take a quick and early tumble down to the lowers.
Yeah, RRQ, I think it's so important that they continue that momentum that they built from the group stage. They ended very well on 2 wins, one against a very tough rival of Nongshim. Let's see if they can bring that momentum forward here and shut down their challengers' opposition.
Yeah, I think they're in pretty solid form at the moment, looking like a very well-rounded squad. And this man on your screen has played against Sharper many times. He's going to know what he's in for. On the other side of things, Sharper coming up from challengers, SEA being a very consistent squad over there, stacked with talent, and have enough experience on this kind of stage to actually be a real threat here in the play-ins. I'm very intrigued to see what they can put together against an in-form RRQ, because if they very convincingly beat them, then I think these guys are going to really prove very early on here that they're the real deal.
No, for sure. And I mean, again, speaking to some of the coaching staff of RRQ after their victory last week, once they locked in this Sharper's team as their opponents, they said, yeah, of course, like, we have to do a lot of prep to get ready for these guys. They are a very scary squad.
Yeah, we spoke to Xfero on the desk and we said, who do you think is the strongest of these challenger squads? Who's the one you're most afraid of? And he said, it's Sharper. He said, it's kind of a shame. This is the one that we didn't want. So, but I do think when we look at their playstyles, right, RRQ have always loved the double initiator because Crazy Guy can call so well when the game is a little bit slower. And Sharper, yes, they are Thai. Yes, they are aggressive, but they also aren't afraid of a slower default here. So I can see this working in RRQ's
I think Zipto is the more aggressive of the two teams. Sharper does tend to play with a little bit more structure. They have strong calling presence and some experience in PTC in particular. So I think that if you're expecting an all-aim, no-brain Thai team here, that's not what you're going to get from Sharper. I think they're incredibly well-rounded. They have a lot of different win conditions. And I want to see what they put together here. RRQ's picked Haven into them. It's a map that, honestly, Sharper did not look good in the grand final of Challengers SCA. They got absolutely trounced by 555, and their defense in particular was a bit of a concern. They only got 2 rounds from 12, so hopefully they've kind of reinvented themselves in a month, and they're going to be looking a little bit better here. But there's some perceived weakness from RRQ there on Haven, and I think this is just a map RRQ's played a million times. It's like their comfort ground, really.
I mean, this, yeah, if you go back, you know, last year especially, this was their map of choice that they always wanted to try to lean into. But I think where Sharper has a big edge over, you know, say Onside, who we just saw lose to KRX, is where they do have that long-standing, long-presence veteran on the team of PTC. Those who might have, you know, someone recently started Valorant esports might not know that PTC, he was at the first champions with full sense. This guy's career goes all the way back to the very beginning. But as we take a look, PTC, he's going to be leading from the front lines. He's going for Yoru. He's trying to say, hey, Nongshim, it can work. Your IGL can play the Yoru.
Please do not encourage Nongshim to do that anymore. No, PTC, he's swapped off the Viper onto the Yoru, which makes this a very different comp despite only being one agent different from what Sharper was playing before. They're starting out on the attacking side, so let's see.
All right, we're in the game. We're in the game.
Deeper on in there. For RRQ starting out on defense here, I think this could go very well for them. I like their defense on this map.
For this game, I predicted in my pick'ems RRQ. I really like what they showed
blown away any prep that RRQ
against
so let's see if they can start strong,
Nongshim.
steal away their opponent's map pick here on Haven.
What a start that would be here for Sharper. We got a 2-0 in the first one. I want to see some back and forth. I want to see some bloodshed between these two SCA squads. Let's see if they can deliver as I pass things over to your casters, Elfish and Quack.
Well, you know what? I think that we might just get something interesting out of this matchup. I agree with a lot of what was said on the desk, which is a little bit unusual. Normally I don't trust those guys, especially Pilski. But I think they had a lot of valid points there, actually. I mean, RRQ, they seem to be on the up and up. They had a bit of a better finish to the group stage. And Sharper, I mean, you and I obviously have watched a lot of Sharper in the Challengers ecosystem, and we've had a lot to be excited about watching that team. They took a 2nd place in stage 1. They won stage 2. They're a pretty damn good team, so I think they're going to come onto this stage and they're really going to excite.
They were really looking forward to this matchup as well. I had a little chat with MYM. Shout outs to Cole, that had a little podcast with him as well. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing was down to how well PTC could call against Crazy Guy, things like that. There are definitely some parallels with, like, you know, Zan versus Kadoom too. But coming down into this. I mean, like, they have established themselves as like this solo duelist, very slow and controlled kind of style team that they played off of in Split 2. Coming here now, it's PTC on the Yoru. That's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. Let's hope we get a good game. A 3-mapper, ideally. RRQ and Sharper head-to-head here in day 1 of the play-ins for VCT Pacific Stage number 2. RRQ going to be that team that, you know, I think they come in with quite a lot of confidence after last week, starting off here on the defense of their own map pick as well. They'll be hoping to get out the gates pretty strong here.
It's always just lovely to see, you know, Jemkin return to his former glory with his team as well.
Jemkin on the Yoru.
It's just not RQ without Jemkin, you know, especially if he's opping around different roles. Now back on the Yoru, it works out very neatly, but the question is back in again, how does Sharper operate now with a different composition? A lot of damage already.
Yeah, Laz tagged up a little bit, but Sharper.
Oh,
nice space
they just missed their timing.
They've got Crazy Guy on the back foot. He just has to try and skedaddle out of the site. Drops that shock dart on the way out, but it's not enough to stop Sharper from making an entry into the site, although they've lost a lot of HP.
Miss.
PTC starts it nicely. Zan jumping out, gets himself the double.
PTC.
It's all about PTC right now. And Apinya, who will finish it off alongside Laz, but the 3K from PTC
Blind
is
missed.
what sets Sharper up for success in that round.
The first one to start things off as well. The ball's on the guy to just sit at the front of Graffiti, marking the angle, knowing that he probably would not get hit by the paranoia that Monyet sends out. Just being able to land his shots, TP back, it just does all the work. I mean, talking about how they love to play it slow, mid-round decisions, and make round calls off of that. This is not what RQ expected at all, and which is why we had the full 5v5 retake. Now with the Outlaw in hand, takes an aggressive line, gets back into safety, and then the games begin.
Oh, why is the cam like...
Right now for Sharper.
A little bit from RQ too.
Cam's going to be dealt with. Still got 3 players over towards this C side.
Cam was like
Couple,
foggy.
so drawing another rotate. Drone forward. Does look like Sharper are really thinking about this.
Yeah, Jordan, you're going to have to strap in because both these teams would love to play this very slow,
it looks
steady,
like RQ gambled right.
Drones now, cutting noise. A bit of a warning shot with the Phantom. Crossfire for RQ though.
Jemkin deleted
Cleared.
just as that smoke pops. Pinya and PTC, nice job done on the
Clean
entry.
sight.
It'll be an easy cleanup for Sharper. A flawless start essentially for them. They pick up the pistol and then they pick up a clean anti-eco as well. That is about as good as you can ask for.
Hell yeah.
But first gun round out for RRQ now, and this is where the business starts to get a little bit more serious.
But look at how clean this was done too, though. I mean, just fully anticipating the crossfires, everyone swinging out together, very well coordinated. And this is what made Sharper, well, sharper all the way back in Split 2 finals. Just having Kadoom sometimes to call for certain plays, otherwise it's PTC as the IGL, a bit of reunion with Zan, of course, on the other side, as always, but back in with the Outlaw again. They're just saying hello to each other. Bit of information by Jemkin as well, so if Sharper are trying to set up for some kind of a C-split, they have to watch out for Garage Window. And they do.
Yeah, Jemkin out of the picture early on in the piece. Sharper, like I said, they've been waiting a long time for this opportunity, and it seems like they want to come out strong. Really dictate this game early on in the piece. Xfero is fighting for his life, frankly. Does keep Sharper at bay for the moment. Monyet keen to maybe have a bit of a peek in for some info. I think Sharper almost want to call the cancel here for the moment.
They really could.
At least maybe slow things down and see if they're going to get any kind of information or a push out from RRQ.
Are they going to re-hit
The TP
into
out towards
C? They're just holding through
south side,
Garage.
something to RQ considering. Monyet.
Saw the barrel.
Opinia to be watching in that direction, but
They're gonna hit into C with that long
which
control.
very quickly is going to start to dissipate. Sharper have run into Xfero eventually.
1v1.
Comes down to the 1v1. Zan
Damn.
swinging onto the line,
Wasn't
but he
ready.
doesn't spot Laz. And 3-0 will be the score to start things off for Sharper.
How do they win that
With the
round?
timer ticking down like that, you don't blame Zan because he thinks the spike is what is going to be the pivotal point. So despite Monyet's early kill, bits of information, Pinya maybe marking for someone to swing out on the flank, it's just still Sharper being able to swing things back. Every single one of them can have their moment, and that's what makes this squad scary. Like you said, they've been waiting for this the longest time. I mean, just to really put things into perspective for some of our viewers. Yes, apart from, PTC with Full Sense all the way back in 2021, it's like so much more than that. Just the CS career as well. And now with the guns, let's take a listen into Sharper. What you thinking?
แม่ผมมาดูขวากูมองขวาแล้วมึงมองนี้ได้ป่ะกูแง้มขวาให้มึงไอ้เติ้ลมารอกับเพื่อนได้ป่ะใช่เวลาจอดเสร็จแล้วต้องซ้ายใกล้นะบอกไม่ได้แง้มมาซ้ายใกล้นะเช็คเลยซ้ายใกล้ไม่เจอเกี่ยวอ่ะพวกคุณเล่นกระดาษให้ไม่ต้องขวานะคุณเล่นกระดาษให้แค่ไหนวะตัวไหนวะเพราะว่าปล่อยเสียงได้ป่ะยังไม่ได้ป่ะยังไม่ต้องปล่อยควันทีเอ้ยควันมั่วเข้ามาเลยตำแหน่งนะจับตีได้ป่ะหมดตีได้ป่ะไม่ต้องควันตำแหน่งเลยนะไม่ต้องควันกระดาษเลยกูจะวางปีแดง
Here's C site.
จะได้วางไหนเพราะมันไม่แถบป้อมจะเริ่มควันทีวางนะเล่นในบอมนะเล่นในบอมนะมันจะพันโอเคเดี๋ยวกูจะบอดสวยมัน
A lot of words to be said. They were worried about the left and the right, but as soon as they see that the site is clear, it's so obvious now. Laz marking the flank, everyone else already in foot. Still a chance for RQ, though, to overwhelm Laz, of course, but they choose a different pathing. Down window. Laz has a timing.
He does. He certainly does. He's going to maybe pick up a couple here. Oh, they all look in his direction, so in the end, it's just going to be the one. But that'll be enough. He spots 3 in middle. Land goes down over on C. Sharper are very happy to start working their way through this round, see if they can pick up a couple more ult charges. Oh, in the meanwhile, PTC, 7-1 to start the map.
They found my wire.
It's been so long. Not to be confused with, Japanese Laz, of course, as well. But yeah, PTC. I mean, you've cast him like since when he began, and he was in tears when they lifted that trophy up in the grand final of Split 2 SEA. I mean, again, not to disparage any orgs or anything, but like Sharper as a team, they were that previous Full Sense core. They've had to kind of say goodbye to Killa, a player that they were kind of training up with. Sephiroth as well, now picked up by the actual Full Sense squad here in Pacific. And they've kind of been dealt a lot of these hands where they just feel like they're always trying to get up there. But, even from the inception of VCT way back then, apart from, making it to champs with Full Sense PTC earlier, like he's gone down to when Cruz was on X10, Cruz was on Sersha. And it's like painful to watch, but still grind it out all these years. Now he's finally here. In a lot of interviews, he said he's here to take what's his.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've obviously been a big fan, so
All right.
want to be able to
I
see
think that's
some
it.
success coming through for him.
I've seen enough.
So far, there's a lot of success happening for
I
Sharper.
haven't seen enough of this game, but I've seen enough VALORANT
It's nothing to
for
scoff at
today.
necessarily, but it is early days.
KRX get the win.
So
I'm happy with
don't be
that.
too far ahead of yourself.
It's time for me
Well,
to
have at
go.
least
It's
built
time
up
for
the
me
ult,
to
though,
go to
so
sleep. Because I
a
need
lot of
sleep.
potentials for
You need some
reconnaissance
sleep.
work. RQ on the
We
other
all
hand,
need
they
some
come
sleep.
in with their own big investment.
Alright.
Jemkin looking to peek down middle.
I'll end it after this round.
Coverage from the Odin. Oh. Classic RQ things. Sharper play it safe. Not seeing too much from either side, but RQ just clearly looking for bits of information. Bit of contact, Zen will head back, call for reinforcements, while Jemkin could continue to hold down the lines, maybe push in a bit deeper. They're always anticipating Laz on that lurk position now. Hence the drone. Just chipping away at the bits.
Sharper immediately looking to retake that space there in the form of Laz pushing out into middle.
Reinforcements here.
A site, definitely well defended here, but is it well defended enough to deal with Kadoom, who's got himself 3? Answer, of course, is no. Just happens in the blink of an eye. Oh, and Laz lurking also catches Xfero. This is Sharper. Really looking like they're styling on RRQ at the moment.
No kidding. He might not even be able to survive, crazy guy. Just slowly trickling back and into Laz's crosshairs. I think he was considering it as well.
Alright, 5-0. Maybe I was wrong about RRQ.
You're exactly
I guess
right,
they're not
Jordan.
back. Alright,
Bit of information
everybody
breaking the
appreciate
drone.
everything.
Ultimately,
Everybody that
considering
watched.
the A site, but it's this push and